Hello, party people, and welcome back to the ultimate Reiner Knizia tier list. The only opinion on the internet that you need to pay attention to because it is vetted by three middle-aged white men. The classic.
Yes. This is part six, right?
Part six,
oh
man.
my, oh my. The legend continues. How long has it been since we last recorded? Was it October 2024?
I know that it's been at least a year.
I think it was when we were running the Cosmic Silos trilogy Kickstarter. Pretty sure that was a good motivator to do.
I mean, we
then.
got ego in there,
Yeah.
right where it belongs. Beautiful ego.
Indeed.
I am Scott Darrington. I am a game player, first and foremost. I do editing for Bitewing Games. Joining me is Nick Murray, one of the co-founders of Bitewing Games, and Jared I. Period. You're not allowed to know his last name. He enjoys his anonymity, and we will preserve that for him as long as possible. We are the admins on the Reiner Knizia Enthusiast Discord server. Known Bitewing shills, love them, love you all. You're all wonderful. I know what I am, and I embrace it, and I love it. But more than anything else, we are lovers of Reiner Knizia, the man, the myth, the only true and living doctor. He of Kniffle, he of Llama, he of Mlem, of Taj Mahal, of Tigris and Euphrates. The man simply does not stop. And so we have to come back. We have to keep talking about our opinions, about updates to this list, about additions to this list, about risers, fallers. Our lives change. And Reiner Knizia changes, but at the same time, he is always the same. So, Nick, please, let's get started.
Absolutely. Yeah, just a quick review here for those who are jumping in, maybe not as fresh like us. We have many a tier list here on our ultimate Knizia tier list. Reiner is very good at making good games, and so one thing we did was we split his best of the best into even thinner hairs, that being the gold tier, which is greatest of the only living doctor. We have beyond that. Ooh, I'm not able to scroll on my own list. That's not good. The A tier. These are games that are. Oh, sorry. S tier, the best. Okay. Then we have A tier, which is amazing, absolutely, and always. Moving on, we have B tier, which these are the super solid hidden gems, surprisingly great games. Then there's the C tier, which is your reliable Reiner. These are good games, and most of us would rather play these than much of the industry hotness, especially if you're a Knizia-phile. So they're definitely worth a try for those of you who are fans of Knizia games. But then things get a little, not as good, down to the C tier and the F tier. D tier and F tier. So D stands for decent. This is, in our opinion, subpar for Knizia. They're fine. We'll play it if you really insist, but not our preference. And then F tier is just the nah, I'm good tier. So
we love Reiner Knizia, and he is really good at making incredible games. But he's also good sometimes at making not so great games, at making games that are a little stinky, games that make me want to throw them out a window. Maybe never that strong.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Opinions,
there's a few. There's a couple. Maybe.
There's a couple. Llama Cadabra needs to. Where does it? Put that back in the F tier. Get that out of the D tier.
No, it's not the worst. We can lower it a bit.
It's the devil. It's at the bottom of the D tier. I'm content. Content.
Some of you may notice that from our very last video, some of these are a little bit jumbled up, the order. That's because I did not save it at the end of the last video, and so I had to recreate this, and it was just too much time and work to perfectly rearrange all these within their tier, unless they're at the very top. I did recreate the top two and a little bit of A. So I tried. Okay. Thank you for understanding. But let's get into it without further ado. So the hard thing about this time going around is we opened up this tier list to the fans so they can make their own tier lists, and they requested more games be added that none of us have played. So we're gonna have to just skip through until we, I think, just find the next one at the top of the list that one of us has played, and kind of go it that way. What do you guys see?
That sounds good.
That
I'll say
sounds great.
for me, I have pretty consciously slowed down in my game consumption, so I won't have as many new additions to this game, but I am willing to share my opinion on any topic.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, even if it
I
is
mean,
an unearned opinion, a game that you have never played, we will accept and welcome such opinions.
yeah, and I will second that with Jared. When we first did this tier list, we needed to make sure that we got to at least 100. And
Yeah.
I just the budget for months on end was nothing but Reiner Knizia games. This last year for me has been a bit busier. I got married. I'm
Hey.
very happy boy. My wife works nights at a hospital, so she's like far away and doesn't get to join in the basking in Reiner Knizia. But when we were talking about doing a redux to the list, I was like, okay, I've got some that I've been meaning to try, and I've got a few that I'm excited to talk about. So let's just
good.
start at the beginning of the list.
Yeah.
Let's work our way down, and then I've definitely got some things that I'm like, this needs to move up, this
Yeah.
needs to move down.
Excellent.
Talk about those later.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. So this first one, has anyone played this? I don't even know what this is called.
No.
Sand
Nope.
Next. Okay, Alien Attack USA. So I have an interesting take on this because this is a game that is not yet released, but I've played it. So
What a privilege.
yeah. Let me find it on my personal list here. Okay, so Alien Attack, I had it on the C tier. This is I think it's worth trying for most Knizia enthusiasts. For everyone else, I gotta drag it up here. This is the burden of having such a large list. You gotta drag it up one rung of the ladder at a time so you get it to where you want it. I think it's kind of a very strong actually C tier game. This is one of Reiner's longer, bigger, more epic tile laying games. Let me see if I can pull it up here to give people a visual, because I think this is one of the more interesting ones we're going to talk about today. This one reminds me of Orango in a lot of ways because you pull tiles from a bag and those tiles have a very specific space that they are assigned to. But instead of Orango, where you are bidding over turn order for claiming those, you're instead... I don't even remember. I got to be honest with you. It's been that long. I think you just take turns. Just throwing down a tile. So it kind of throws out the bidding essentially. And then there's different ways that you're trying to score things. There's these points of attack in the USA where it's like, oh, aliens are going to attack here, and if you don't defend it, then it's toast. And you can kind of surround alien ships to defeat them, like on opposite sides of that space. There's weird things where like you're trying to build out like animals or sheep or something, or cover those tokens. There's really interesting scoring going on. I remember there's scorecards. You can see a little bit of that at the very top. Certain objectives you're trying to complete. And so because of the objective cards and the way you're just taking turns placing out tiles onto very specific spaces, it also reminds me of Rebirth. The reason I don't rank this as highly as Orango or Rebirth is because it's a much longer, much slower paced game. And to me, it scratches a similar itch. So if I'm going to reach for a game like this, I'm going to go for the one that's kind of spicier in Orango's case or faster in Rebirth's case. But this one has enough different stuff going on that if it eventually releases, this one had like a listed 2025 release, and then I don't know, it's just kind of been crickets since then. I think they've been trying to find a North American partner or a way to publish it in North America as well, but I don't even think they've released it in Brazil yet from the main publisher. But if it does get up here, I say it's worth a try if you're a fan of Knizia. Otherwise, I'd say Orango or Yakuza, as well as Rebirth, are probably your better bets because they're just faster. So that is Alien Attack, high C tier. Next up, we've got Amazonia Park. Has anyone played this?
I have not.
Okay. Amazonia Park. Let me see where I got this one.
This video is going to be a lot of Nick, folks.
Yeah,
Oh,
like front-loaded Nick.
yeah, front-loaded me. I apologize.
I've
That's
got some games in this
oh good,
line.
good. Yeah, so Amazonia Park, I have it as a D tier game. For a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is the box is just way too big for this game. Like it's not a bad game. It's very very tactical, very family weight. The problem is it's they wanted to go with a fancy stand for the tiles and the cards, and they didn't want it to be disassembled each game, which I can understand,
Ooh.
but it results in one of the biggest boxes in Reiner Knizia's entire catalog. I think the only
Wait,
one that rivals it is like Siege of Rundar, which is also humongous.
so is it like larger than a standard box?
Yeah, it's
Is it a
huge.
calyx? Makes a calyx cry?
A little bit. I mean, it's just like think Ticket to Ride, but like 30% bigger. And I don't know, it's just like such a huge box for being a family weight tactical game. So that's my biggest complaint. It's not, I didn't feel the urge to really come back to it after a couple plays either, because it's just really tactical. You draw a tile like Carcassonne, you choose anywhere to place it out on the board, and then you look at all the tiles that are in line with it, but you only look at the first tile in line of sight in all directions. And you collect those colors. The best part about this is you are racing to collect enough tiles to claim one of these magazine cards. And the first person to claim like a red one takes that, and then the number goes up. So then it's more expensive for everyone else to finish the red magazine. And first person to finish all 6 colors wins. So the objective and the scoring and kind of the competition to collect enough tokens to cash them in for a magazine is really cool. But to me, it's a pretty shallow family weight game. And that box, man, if they cut that
Really
down to like
unnecessary.
1/5 the size, I'd be like, yeah, this is at least one tier higher. But as is, we'll throw it in the D tier. It's hard to access to. It's from Korea Board Games, so it's going to be a tough one to track down. And the box is just disgusting. So we'll put it D tier. Next one we got is Ape Town. Surely one of you has tried this.
I have played Ape Town.
Yes, Ape Town. This is an interesting one as well. Let me pull it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Ape Town is a relatively new release, yeah, 2025, and it is another tile layer, but it is strange. So the way it goes, it's kind of a closed economy, not quite bidding, but there are tiles around the track, and you need to take one of the face-up tiles that'll be up to 10, and for any of them that you pass, you need to pay some of your money onto it, and then when you pick one up, you will get the money that's next to it there. And
This is
then
such a cool
here's the
system. Yeah.
yes, agreed. And here's the weird part: the colors on there in the I don't know why they chose gray, black, and white, but there it is.
Yeah.
That is where you need to place the tokens.
Hmm.
So the purple backed ones will score their value based on the quantity of bananas next to them. And then the white backed tiles will score during district scoring, which is when a district is completely full.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of weird like tiebreakers, area majority, and this is the only time your colored tiddlywinks there come into play.
Hmm.
And it's difficult to explain because it's not like anything else that I've played, even by Knizia. But I found it to come together really well and really interesting
Hmm.
because there's a lot of consideration for each choice that you make. The ramifications of going for easy points now to try and set yourself up, or the risks of you're trying to set up something for yourself, but then if an opponent is willing to pay for it, they could take it away from you. And I found it a pretty satisfying experience.
Yeah, my favorite part, like you were saying, is just this: you're paying to get to the tile that you want, and the money is points, right? Like at the end of the game, you'll score points for the money you have, as well as points that you've collected in the mid game scoring. Um, So yeah, it's really cool because once this last tile is claimed, then you have to open up the next section. So the next person is just like, ooh, yes, there's so many new juicy things for me to jump on.
Ooh. That kind of sounds like Sumatra almost.
Yeah, a little bit, but with
Yeah.
like bidding essentially, where you're paying to get to a later tile in the display. But
Very nice.
I guess my biggest complaint would be that it's very tactical, and I kind of wish they. I mean, this is a very Bitewing thing to say, but I wish they would have done like a second side to the board to like potentially mix things up and keep my interest. But even then, I think this is going to go down as like a cult classic that a lot of people will, when they try it, they'll really appreciate it. It's not one that I felt the need to keep personally, but I think it's really unique, and it just got a North American version very recently. But where would you personally slot this game?
It's lower B for me. I think
Lower
it's
B.
definitely worth
Okay.
trying.
Yeah,
And
that is
I
fair.
got a lot out of just the novelty because somehow he manages to keep making creative games with just tiles.
Yeah, I had it probably high C, so I think we're pretty close to each other. I'll slot it in low B though because yeah, I think it's super interesting, very unique what
Put
he
it right
does with
above
the
Cheeky Monkey. Yeah, that's thematically appropriate.
yeah, they go together. So great. Yeah, I definitely recommend trying that one if you get the chance. So excellent. Next one we have is Arctic Riders. This is math, the board game for kids, and it's kind of hardcore math. Has anyone else tried this?
There's a lot of games you made me put on here that I was like,
Yeah.
you better be quick with this one.
You've tried this too, or is it just me?
Oh,
Just
I
you.
haven't.
Oh, you've tried this, Scott?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. All right. Yeah. If you want your kids to learn like some complex addition and subtraction, great, go for it. Otherwise, it's a skip. So
Beautiful.
we'll put a D tier. Next, we have Atlantes, or right? Is that what it?
Atlantean.
Atlanteon. Haven't
Atlantean.
played it. I mean, you can probably just like go from like box to box, and one of
Yeah.
us will stop you, or you'll
Okay.
stop yourself.
Anyone? Anyone?
That's
Bank robbers, go back.
Bank robber. Oh, bank robbers. Okay.
You went way too
Uh,
fast.
my bad. All right. Take
All
it
right.
away.
This one's hot off the presses for me. I squeezed it in over on Friday with my lunchtime group, which is where I try out a bunch of these small box Knizias. So this one was originally published as Grave Diggers, and I have the Japanese group SNE edition, which just changed the theme but kept the cards. So in this game, there are 5 lots basically, and then in
This
the
is a
center there
horrible
are seven
picture.
different seven
I
different
need to
actions
picture.
that you
So
can
blurry.
take. And this is so weird because those 7 actions, you just flip them up and will do what it says. So there's no agency at that point.
Hmm.
As you can see, there's those repeats there that go through. And so what you're trying to do is you're adding these cards to these various lots, and then one of the lots will trigger the robbery, which is where you do a blind bid to get the cards. And then so everyone does a blind bid, and then you reveal what happens, what cards are in there, and then there's just the value cards, which are good, but then there are the character cards, which will bring shenanigans.
Oh, we
So
love a blind bid.
yes, and this one is interesting because so the total cumulative pot, it starts being allocated based on who bid the lowest, and then they will get their value. So if I put in 2 and you both put in 4, I will get my 2. But then as soon as someone can't get their entire bid, it's over. So if there was only 5 value in there and I put in 2 and you both put in 3, neither of you would get anything. So that is pretty interesting. And then the characters will do stuff where like the guards will prevent you from stealing, the accomplices like flip and reverse it and go, and so now the people who bid the highest get theirs first, and then it goes round and around, so it's going through. So I thought, for me, this was lower C tier, maybe even into D. I thought it was novel, it was interesting. Like I'm glad I tried it, but it's just it's so random. You have no control over what's going on. You don't know what's in any of the lots. So even if you try and pull off some like trickery by seeding it with those special characters, someone else might have done something that canceled out those characters, and so it was pretty random, but it was quick and it was interesting. So worth trying for fanatics, but yeah, that 5.7 rating
Not very
is
popular, huh?
yeah,
But a quick playtime covereth a multitude of sins.
It's
yes.
true.
We played 3 times over our lunch break and we all had a good time, but this isn't one that I'm going to be bringing out.
Ooh, zooming in. Bankrut, I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it. That's the Polish version of Weedle. We'll talk about Weedle
Oh,
later.
we'll get to that. Yeah.
The next is Battle of Mechaverse.
Oh
I
my.
think.
Okay, we're
What
good.
happened?
Okay, careful
I
there.
think I'm the only person who's played Battle of Mechaverse.
Is is that the redevelopment of Clash of Gladiators?
That is
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
Okay.
This was actually
I
pitched to me, interestingly, like a few years ago, but I never tried it, so I'm interested to hear your
Oh,
take, Scott.
you're
I
going
have
too
played
far up.
Oh,
Clash of
okay.
Gladiators, so I can.
Um, Yeah, so this is like it's a pretty like meaty re-implementation. I think it belongs like right in the middle of kind of everything. I think there's some great fun to be had, but there's a lot of randomness. There's a lot of randomness, a lot of dice rolling, and it's a good time. It really is. You have these little mechamon, totally legally distinct from Pokemon and Digimon because they're actually robots instead of biological. No, no, no. But you take turns drafting weapons for them at the beginning of the game. Everyone has 4 weapons, and then every turn, once you're done with that, you put them out on the map, and then they shoot each other until they blow up. And it's just a dice chucker. And what this has changed from Clash of the Gladiators is everyone is in just this soup of violence.
Yes.
And
Yep.
Reiner was like, what if we added a grid to it? What if we added special terrain that maybe lets you hit harder, gives you more defense, it lets you like defend yourself, like you can hide behind mountains, but if you're both on top of a mountain, then like you can see each other and stuff like that. Um,
There's ranged
and
attacks and things like that too.
Yeah, there's ranged attacks, there's melee attacks, there's like these considerations for tactical positioning that I thought were like pretty interesting. It's something that it's like there's quite a bit of game at the very beginning before anything has happened, a lot of speculation where you're like, ooh, I put so many guns on this robot and then I was third in the beginning of the game and he died before I got a chance to use him. That kind of sucks. So if you're willing to just shoot completely from the hip, then you can have a good time. But it's something that like you don't need to like break the gates for. This is coming back as I can't remember the name of it, but I think Korea Board Games or another board game company in Korea is bringing it back as like Magical Cats.
Oh yeah,
And I'm
that's
very
right.
curious about like the usability options that they're going with that. I think it's like they made a new listing because they probably don't know that this one
Oh,
exists.
probably, probably.
I had to make the page for this, and I'm one of the 4 comments on it. But it's a
There
good
you go.
time. I'm gonna be giving it to my nephew,
Which tier
and
list, or which
it's perfect right where it
right
is.
where it is?
Like
Perfect.
it's fun, and like there's definitely some like tactical and strategical elements to it that like are engaging. But at the end of the day, I'm rolling my dice as hard as I can at you, Harry Potter.
Yeah, it seems like if you want a little more consideration than Clash of the Gladiators, then that's probably the way to go. So cool.
The next one is Bear in Mind.
Bear in mind. This is essentially this is another game from Chip Theory. I got to stop zooming out here. Apparently,
Yeah.
from
I can tell you what the games are. Don't worry.
yeah, this is Chip Theory Kids who did the excellent kids games Neighborhood, Hide and Seek, and Pixel Party, which are also Knizia games, but those are solitaire magnet games. This one is a multiplayer competitive Wilmot's Warehouse for kids, which is actually pretty solid. It just takes the concept of Wilmot's Warehouse, where you are telling stories based on pictures that you see, and it simplifies it down to like a roll and move system. There's less things you need to memorize compared to Wilmot's. It's not bad at all. Honestly, what's funny is like I play Wilmot's Warehouse with my kids. They love it. So it's like, is this one needed? I mean, maybe for like super young kids, or if you just want something simpler and shorter, then yeah, it's not bad. So I would rank it C tier actually, for those who are looking for like a good family weight game. Chip Theory, they have not made a bad production for a kids game that I've seen yet. So yeah, I'd say it's a solid C.
They look rugged, which is like, I feel like Chip Theory was always supposed to make kids games because they make indestructible games. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very high quality. So definitely recommend it for families. Big Five, anyone?
Right.
Biotope?
Big Five.
Ah.
It's basically Quirkle, but I think maybe like one or two more rules.
Okay.
It's fine. It's D tier. Fine. Totally fine. I proxied it. Like if I had really cute zoo animals on the cards, it'd be up higher. But the soul of it was it's kind of just Quirkle. It's fine.
Fair enough.
Quirkle with zebras.
Yeah, we'll take it. Anyone play Biotope? No. All right, Blooming Sea. This is another Korea Board Games production. The same people that did Amazonia Park, and a few more we're going to talk about. But yeah, Blooming Sea I think is one of the best Knizias that this publisher has made so far. And let me show you here. It's very simple. I feel like Korea Board Games with their Knizia stuff, they're definitely leaning very light, very family friendly. This is one that I think Mike DeLiso even reviewed it recently. If you want another opinion, I got to try it 2 players just at Essen. Sat down when I had a moment away from the booth, and it was like, this looks kind of cool. Let's try it out. It's got a bit of a. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I love the triominoes. You don't see that super often.
Yeah. It kind of simplifies things down from the classic polyomino Tetris shape, because they're all just L shapes and different mixes of different colored corals or whatever you want to call them. But you're basically competing for majorities around the fish and trying to score off of these groups of things. I think you represent a specific player color. And so like if I'm orange, I want to have the most orange around a fish, that kind of thing. So there's just like tactical, opportunistic timing type of stuff going on. It's fun. It's good. I would, it's not one am dying to own or anything like that, but I would play it again, and definitely like it more than Amazonia Park. So let's see if I can find it here.
Those
I had
fish
it low
tokens look
C2.
nice.
Yeah, it is. It's a great production, actually. The artwork, the fish, like everything comes together nicely. So they always do a nice job on the presentation side of things. And this one, blessedly, it's more of like a Ticket to Ride size box. It's not quite as huge as Amazonia Park. So I would rank it low C.
The under the C tier.
Under the maybe for that we
gotta
just
keep
put
this moving. I know I'm hilarious. We gotta keep.
I wish Korea Board Games, it was easier to get a hold of them.
Yeah. They unless somebody like Capstone brings in this next one we're going to talk about, then it's tough to access. So unless anyone's played Brains, no Brains. All right,
my next one is like Friday the 13th. So
all right, we'll get rolling. Butterfly Garden. We've already talked about Indigo a lot. Butterfly Garden is just a more thematic presentation, I guess, if you can call it that.
Thematic? Less thematic. It is a thematic presentation, but I think it's by and large a worse one. It's still great. Still great game.
Yeah.
But like, sorry, the production of Indigo is like better in kind of every way. But cute little butterflies are very cute.
Yeah, the kids do like the butterflies, though. They do tend to topple because they're kind of on stands and they're a little fiddly in that way. Do we know where Indigo's at? I assume it's right there. Okay. Now,
I mean, it should be in B tier. I think Indigo is really great.
Okay.
I love that game.
yeah.
Play with
Have
my
you
kids
played
all the
either
time.
game? Jared, you said you play this a lot.
Yes, Indigo goes over really well. It's one of my daughter's favorites.
Okay. Should we bump this up then? We think.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now, I'm going to make a petition that Butterfly Garden should go above Indigo, and it's really for one reason and one reason only. It's because they got Reiner to make a mini
An
expansion.
expansion that's absolutely impossible to proxy because you can't find beads of a different color.
Yeah, you can definitely proxy it very easily. Just get some black beads, look up the rules, but essentially it's like negative points that enter, and some of them start in the center, and then you're trying to send those towards other people, and it's absolutely hilarious. I think it definitely elevates the game. So you can acquire it from Capstone. They might sell it online. I got it from them at a convention though. But
we give a big thumbs up to that.
Yeah.
You know, even though if I'm like, I don't like the production as much, I had to ship this from bloody Japan.
Oh, the other thing to note is they changed the rules. They swapped the variant rules and the main rules, and I do not like how they present the new Butterfly Garden. They suggest that you play with, I think, 2 or 3 tiles in hand, and you choose one to play out. Whereas the original rules of Indigo, you just have 1 tile, and you got to figure out where the heck you want to put it. And I think that's a much better version of the game. It just, when you let people choose, these tiles almost do everything anyways. So it's just like, it just eliminates all tension from the game. It sucks. So play the original rules of having 1 tile in your hand at all times. I definitely recommend playing that way. So, all right, next one. I'm just going to hover over these till someone tells me to stop. No. Okay. It's back to me. We've got the next 4-1 game, which, do you remember what the English translation of this is, Scott? It's kind of hilarious.
I can't remember because it's like the German version of like Parcheesi, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like "Take it easy, man," or like something hilarious like that.
Man, take it easy.
Yeah, but it's basically sorry or trouble, right? It's that type of game that's been around for decades upon decades. But this is kind of like Germany's version of it. The way it's Mensch, ärgere, dich, nicht. I don't know how to pronounce that. So this is another 4-1 game, which
translation. It's man, don't get angry.
Yeah, man, don't get angry. There we go.
There's like a little bit of passive aggressiveness in that. Man, don't get angry. Like
Yes. So the 4-1 line we ranked very highly when we originally talked about it because they're just really addicting solitaire games that have a ton of replayability, a ton of levels to them. This one is surprisingly fun for being just sorry, where you roll a die and move a pawn. It's just a roll and move game. Like, he gets a lot of mileage out of it because initially it's like, okay, I'm just rolling, moving, choosing one of my pawns to move. But then suddenly there's point tokens on the spaces and you want to flip them all to score points. And then it's like, oh, you don't want to cover these ones. You want to skip over these ones. And then you bring in the other pawns and they start moving on their own. And you're trying to basically send them back to their home base so they don't beat you in the game. And there's some like fun considerations there. So I actually had a lot of fun playing through all the levels of this, which was much easier than the other 4-1s because there's only 12, which is sad. So I rank it lower than the rest because the other games have at least 20 levels. This one has 12 and I finished it in like 2 or 3 hours. So I don't think it's as essential to seek out, but it's surprisingly great. I'd say low B tier for that one. So. All right. Free Guard unfortunately has not come out yet. Friday the 13th.
I've got Friday the 13th.
Great.
I feel like if this was something,
is this just Poison, by the way, or
yeah,
okay,
Poison.
Okay.
So if you probably just the
Or Baker's Dozen.
Yeah, Baker's Dozen. There's been a lot of versions.
I think that there's like definitely some interesting things going on. I wouldn't put it up in C tier.
There's
put
Poison
it in
right
D tier
there.
personally. It just did not grab me. If this was like the one card game that I like, my one uncle was like, let's play a game, I'd be like, okay, like I'm looking forward to finding the hidden depths with this, but couldn't be bothered.
All right.
So
yeah. I mean, I like this one. I think it deserves C, but what do you think, Jared?
I actually just played it with my daughter not 2 hours ago because she often request the donut game.
That's
Yes.
beautiful. That's so cute.
So I
So maybe if
enjoy
my
it.
dad like wanted to
Yes,
play it.
yes. Yeah, I would not. It is interesting, right? Trying to poison the stacks there and the level of brinksmanship. So I think it's a solid card game, but it is surpassed by so many others. So worth
Mm,
trying, and yeah, if it resonates with you, more power to you.
fair enough. Ooh, here we
Ah,
go.
it's so
Fruit.
bright. It's so bright.
How could we miss it? We couldn't. It's not
Oh,
possible.
fruit fight. Big box. Fun game. um,
This is by the way, this is another version of No Mercy, or what's the other name for it? Is it Hit?
Hit.
hit.
Yeah. So how do we feel about this version compared to those?
I haven't played No Mercy or Hit,
Oh, okay.
but if I bought this game, it would be one of those.
Okay.
I wish CMYK all the best with the target audience that they're going for with those boxes, because it's definitely not me. If they were like bright magenta and then like smaller, I'd be like, okay, that's totally fine. But they're really big and not too big a fan. But the core game is still super good. Flipping
Yeah.
cards, stealing cards, hoping that people don't steal your cards as they're flipping cards. Like, so simple, so fast, really solid.
Yeah, it's a great game. I think a lot of people don't like you said, the size of the box, which contrasts nicely with the 6-point font in the rulebook. and and then I guess the card indexes don't matter too much on this one, but the
No.
blurry fruit art is very controversial as well. So I don't know if we knock it down a tier from high B down to high C.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, not our favorite version, but still a great game that we recommend. It sounds like. So that is Fruit Fight.
Oh, have we not talked about Gazebo?
No.
Have we not talked about Gazebo on
No.
Oh, oh, Gazebo, a re-implementation of Chin. Like, this is one of those. I'm a Bitewing boy, you know. Not objective about this. Like, well, I mean, I feel like I'm objective, but I'm not. But I think it's just phenomenal. It's a kind of area control, area influence domino game where you're placing 3 different kinds of terrain, slowly building up areas for those, trying to take over other people's areas, trying to influence neutral spots on the board. And it's just a race to get out all of your gazebos before your opponent does. What this does different from Chin is it separates the single color dominoes, which are strong because you can put them out and immediately put one of your gazebos on top of them. It separates them out into personal player draw piles, and then like a neutral pile that you can draw from as you play on the board. And it's great. It adds a nice strategic and tactical consideration where once there was just randomness, and it's like it was a 20-minute game. Randomness is totally fine, but strategy and tactics and just that little bit of extra crunch, just like the crouton you find in the salad, is just like even better. So
Yeah, this is one that we had ranked somewhere in the B or A tier. For me, Chin. I'm talking about Chin actually, the older version. For me, Chin was like a high C tier kind of game where it was like, okay, this is really tactical, but it's also kind of lucky. The maps, there's some nice variety to the maps, but I always wished there was more to it, and that's what Reiner brought to this new version. Like the maps are much more diverse. I know you've played this now, Jared. What did you think about Gazebo?
So I was pretty high on Chin overall. So I don't know if it was my influence that brought it up that high. I
oh
really
no,
appreciate.
I mean
I
it
really
was both of us together.
okay. I really appreciate the race aspect. That's one of my favorite things about games is it's no scoring. It's just did you first to achieve makes it easy. So I like Chin quite a lot, and Gazebo is a straight up upgrade. So it takes everything that I liked about it and improves it. That small tweak with the double tiles does go a lot further, and then the variety on the different maps. So yes, I love Gazebo. For me, like my overall favorite game is Tigris and Euphrates, but that's one that I really only like playing with four and three at a push. But I think Shin and Gazebo, they scale well. And so it's kind
Mm.
of one of those instances where if I only have two or three people, this was one that I would choose, I would seek out. There we go. So
Yeah,
I,
I'm
I
obviously
really enjoy
biased.
it.
I'm the publisher of this game, but I
He's
do
the
think
most
it's
biased.
yeah, most biased. But I do think it's one of the best domino games I've ever played. Notably, Reiner says that Chin and Gazebo are among his top 10 designs that he's ever made. Which he doesn't say that when people interview him, and they're like, "What's your favorite game that you've made?" He's like, "They're all my children." So for him to just come out in an email to me and be like, "Yeah, this is one of my top 10 designs," I'm like, "Okay, all right." I see what you're cooking. But where would you two rank Gazebo?
I want to give it like a little space to grow. I think like it's definitely like top S tier for me. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic, but I want to like sit with it a little bit longer before I let it get into the gold tier. To let it like slide up with that.
That's fair.
I think it's super super good. I love it a lot. It has my wife. Also, she loves it. She loves Gazebo, and that's why we play like 4 times in a row. Not because she keeps wanting to win, and she does. She does win, um, but it's super super good, and like the art is just like so good.
Yeah, Alicia crushed it. How about you, Jared?
Upper A for me.
Upper A. Okay. Yeah, I guess if I can be the decider, I'll keep it in the S tier because I think I rank it very highly. I think for like a 30-minute filler game, it packs such a huge punch, and I love jumping around between the maps. And I agree, it's very scalable, and it's got a new partnership mode too, which is kind of a fun twist if you want to mix up the 4-player experience. So there it shall lie for now, with room to grow or to decay. Who knows? Um, Next up, we have Ghosts. Anyone played Ghosts or Go Go Eskimo?
Not me.
Nothing. Okay, we're back to the. This is the
Back to the bite wing
the bite wing
flavor hour.
shilling. Yes,
Woo!
yes.
Go
But
country, baby! Yeah!
this one's an even more interesting comparison because we had Spectaculum in the C tier. From I don't remember where in the C tier we landed it, but I'll put it next to that. Well, go ahead, Scott. You've played this.
It's always been a little bit of a mid thing. Spectaculum's great because it's a simple cube rails stock manipulation with shared boards, shared incentives. But it just didn't feel like there was enough meat on the bones there. It's something where I'm like, I think if I'd played it more, I probably would have rated it higher, especially with how slim that box is. But Gold Country. Gold Country takes that and it just ratchets everything up in more dramatic and exciting ways. There was a certain point, and again, this is only like a couple plays of Spectaculum. The way that the system works is things would get closed off and you would see the writing on the wall for how things were going to play out for the rest of the game. And Gold Country adds in a few elements that mix things up. And the biggest is we got this picture here. You're placing tents on a shared board, spreading out the influence of 4 mining companies, having them snaffle up tokens of gold, of fool's gold, trying to manipulate their stock prices so that you can buy low, sell high. You know how it goes. And there's just like more dynamism to the game. Added to it. And I think like the biggest single improvement and source of drama for me is the addition of the bandit tokens. As the board is explored, these black tokens are gradually added to the bag. And when those are placed, they can be placed basically anywhere next to where the mining companies have influence, they just delete whatever they're placed on. Like orange could have been building up towards like a big payout for like the stockholders, and then bandits come and steal the gold nuggets. Or purple is working towards the very middle of the map to grab the big five, and then no, bandits have stolen all the gold and all of your dreams along with it. You know who you are. And it really adds to the chaos in a way that still feels strategic and still feels calculable to a certain degree, but sort of releases it and opens up the decision space and opens up the game space for something that is more dramatic and dynamic. And I think it's excellent.
Yeah, I've notably, and here's the ultimate shill of the hour. This game is currently on Kickstarter until February.
What?
Yeah, until February 26th. That was a good motivator for us to get the band back together and talk about more Knizia games, because we got one running right now. But I've talked to some previewers who have played both sides of the board, and it sounds like most gamers, hobbyist gamers, are going to gravitate to this new river side of the board for all the shenanigans that are happening, like entering a tunnel space and exiting any other tunnel space on the board, essentially teleporting that company across the board. Or the only way you can cross the river is by spending a boat token, or gunning for these gems that are super valuable for the person who claims them. Dynamite that lets you draw more from the bag. There's just a lot more, like you said, a lot more flexibility, a lot more dynamism to this version of the game, that makes for some really satisfying maneuvers and plays. So I think this one goes up quite a bit in my estimation. From my experience of Spectaculum, even before Reiner introduced the second side of the board, which is also my favorite way to play, like you said, with the Black Bandit tokens and the more flexibility with switching from the hardware store, things like that. I really enjoy the stock antics that happen here and trying to sabotage other people. But how would you rank this, Scott?
I would put it like near the top of A tier, edging into S. I think it's like really excellent. One of my like regular gaming buddies is like, this is my favorite Reiner Knizia game that I've played in years.
That's awesome.
He loves stock manipulation. He loves shared incentives, loves the board. And I think it's something that I will play and I think will grow. I really think it's an excellent design, but I'm like, I want to like keep it low for now, let it grow, let it have its time.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that it's true gold and there's no like fool's sheen to it, you know?
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. I definitely, to me, this is one of those games where we've done a lot of our crown jewel games with Reiner where we found something we loved, like Municipium, and we're like, we want people to love this just as much as we do, or Quo Vadis, you know? This one was very different, where Spectaculum was like, yeah, it's okay. Like, but I can kind of see the interesting concepts here. And then Reiner really made it a very, very entertaining game for me personally, for my taste, with the new changes for Gold Country. And then Best Sobel artwork feels like a bit of an upgrade from the circus as well. So,
and if you
I don't know. I don't know if I can forgive you for removing the jester. That's easily one of my favorite covers.
It's very iconic, and that is the very neutral way of saying it. But if you didn't know, miners would often keep their gold shavings in glass bottles, and that's why there's a glass bottle in the cover.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw that, I just fell in love. It's gorgeous.
Bottle is life, as they say.
So, anyways, let's wrap this ad up,
Okay.
and get back to the
A regularly scheduled
more neutral
event.
stuff.
Yeah. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna keep scrolling here. Gold Nuggets, Gold Rush, Gravedigger. We talked about Gravedigger. That's why I'm pausing on that.
That's Bank Robbers.
Bank Robbers.
That's hit Extreme right after that.
Yeah. It's in D tier, right? Right. Top of the D tier. Excellent. Okay. Gold Rush hits Extreme. Anyone played this?
I have not.
Oh, we'll leave it down here then. The Hobbit, There and Back Again. I have feelings on this, but I feel like one of you two has probably played it as well.
No, we've slowed down.
Nope.
Remember?
Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh man,
I can't charge it on my business card as research.
That's fair. That's fair. I do have some advantages there. Okay, so this is a very popular, very hot game. A lot of people really, really love it. So let me give it some love here. Show you guys a little bit about this. This is like Reiner Knizia's roll and write adventure inspired by the Hobbit book, which is really cool. He's done this with a few games where he's kind of taken the source material and really fleshed it out. This game has, what is it, like a dozen adventures or 8 adventures? It's quite a bit, and it comes with the most luxurious. Well, I guess it's not the most. Ivy Studios with their 10 game, I suppose, one ups this. But like as far as retail games go, this is one of the most luxurious roll and writes you'll ever see. It has these very fancy hardcover-ish boards, like the kind that you read to your 2-year-old child who's going to like drool all over it and it'll be fine. It's that type of quality material book, and all these different scenarios that you can go through. It's a roll and write though, so you basically you are rolling. Usually, you're rolling these dice here, and you're drafting them. So I take one, and there's one less for you to choose from, and on we go until we run out of dice, and then we need to re-roll them. The first couple scenarios, you are using these shapes to trace paths, connecting the dwarves to Bilbo's house, and as well as Gandalf. And it's very charming production. These are like ultra thick punchboard, by the way. Like we're talking like really good production here. And then it gets interesting in the later scenarios where instead of rolling these dice, you're rolling this number dice here, and then it turns into like a polyomino game. It's kind of crazy how things change over time. Yeah, this is the polyomino version, whereas the other one is like paths that you're drawing. So a lot of variety to it, but I think it's just it's not you, it's me kind of thing. I did not enjoy this game. I felt like it was just such a slog.
Wow.
I think I'm just burning out on roll and writes personally. Most roll and writes. I will say there's one we're going to talk about later that I enjoyed quite a bit more. But this one, I don't know. It just felt too slow paced and like very. I don't know. It's like I'm going to draw this. Okay, I'm going to draw this T next. What am I going to draw next? I don't really care what comes here. It can be a straight line. It can be an L. It could be another T. I'm going to reach that spot and I'm going to cross it off regardless. So I don't really care what I trapped. So, but that's my take. This is one of his highest rated games of the past few years, and most hobbyists love it. So I would probably rank it D tier personally. Yeah, there you go. Not a great experience, but I'm going to bump it up at least to C tier for the folks who do love this game because it is very popular.
You gotta be true to yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta be willing to put yourself out there. Controversy.
I'll say, yeah. I'm gonna put it.
Controversy is engagement, Nick.
I'll put it low C tier. If you hate roll and writes, skip it. If you like them, then you'll probably love this game. So C tier for me. Next up, we have. I don't recognize a lot of these. I zoomed in.
Ingenious Challenges. I think that's going to be the next one.
All right, let's do it.
Ingenious Challenges is actually 3 smaller games using the Ingenious scoring system. There's Ingenious cards, there's Ingenious dice, and there's Ingenious tiles. And I'm not going to bury the lead with this one. I put it at D for dang. Ingenious scoring can make anything interesting. I think the best one of these 3 was the tile game. It's a push your luck where you're like flipping over one at a time until you choose to stop. And I was incredibly reckless, and it was very entertaining for my 2 friends who were watching me continue to flip tiles when I really should have stopped, but it paid off and it was just beautiful. The other games are like sort of like push your luck, sort of like kind of just like collecting things. It's fine. It's totally fine. The production is kind of like nothing. It's just like if you find it for a $5, try it out. If you find it for $6, maybe think twice.
So the weakest of the ingenious, but not the worst. All
Oh
right,
yeah,
not the
it's
worst
just
game.
like ingenious scoring is just like scoring like your weakest category of five things is always just going to be good.
Yeah,
Like
excellent.
I think Jäger Ensemble,
Yeah, I assume we're on
um,
that next. Have you played this,
Jäger,
Jared?
Jäger Ensemble. Oh, thanks, Callie.
Ingenious?
No, oh, Jäger and Sammler.
Yes, I have the copy that Nick sent to me. So it's
Oh,
moved
that's
on.
okay. Oh, yeah, of course. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So tell me what you think about it.
I liked it. I think it's solid. It's
Hmm.
I love a two-phase game. So first you're doing your hunting, then you're doing your gathering. And it's that type of game where you are moving around and then you collect the tile that you land on top of. And
Hmm.
this game can get really mean where you
Hmm.
can cut people off and do the branches. So it's a fairly simple set collection, to go through, but having to and then resetting can be a little tedious, but a
Hmm.
it's still a pretty quick and breezy game, and I I liked it. I think it's solid. I think it's improves over Africa, which is another one that he did where with the similar removing pieces as you move on to it.
Hmm.
And I found the set collection interesting, and this is another one that I it's a reliable lunchtime game for my group.
Nice. Yeah, my favorite part of this is as you move on to these tiles, you remove them from the board, or rather, as you move off a tile, you claim it, and it's removed from the board. And now these empty spaces are effectively walls. Nobody can pass over or through them. You can only travel over tiles. And luckily, there is a little bit of a release valve. There's these tunnel spaces that you can kind of teleport through these things here, and to get to other places and kind of escape a shrinking area. So yeah, I agree. It's very interesting. I like the two-phase system where you kind of collect weapons and you're trying to go hunt with them, and then in the second phase, I don't know, the scoring changes a little bit. But yeah, as a gamer, when I was playing it, I was like, this is pretty cool. This is not bad. And then like I looked at it seriously from the publisher perspective, and I was just like, oh shoot, this is just a worse version of Through the Desert. That was like my huge takeaway, especially from a publisher perspective. Like, okay, if I were to make this and present this to people, this is basically Through the Desert, but with more constraints and more fiddliness in the setup. And because you're building these walls of spaces that you're claiming, and you're blocking other people off, you're trapping people within these contained areas. But to me, Through the Desert is just more interesting from a scoring and turn by turn decision perspective. So ultimately, it comes down to like, okay, would I rather play this or would I rather play Through the Desert, which scratches a very similar itch? And Through the Desert, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 times for me. I don't know if you have a similar feeling or if you feel like it differentiates itself enough.
I mean, it's not as good as Through the Desert, but I wouldn't put them directly comparable like that.
Mm,
I feel
Yeah.
like they are distinct because due to
What
the
is?
mostly due to the set collection rather
mm,
than just the straight scoring points. But
that's
there
fair.
are some similarities.
So where would you rank this personally?
Yeah, upper middle C.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
And
I
I'm sticking
probably
to it.
yeah, I probably had it as like my feelings personally C tier, but because of Through the Desert, it might go lower. But let's leave it there. That's a great spot, I think. All right. Next up, we have Karakorum. I assume neither of you have played this. I'm going to refer people to Mike DeLisio's Dice Tower review of this. This is another one I demoed at Essen Spiel last year, and it's got a bit of a Lost Cities vibe where you are playing cards in escalating order of certain colors, and you're moving up the mountain. But honestly, I can't tell if it was just like a bad demo slash teach or if it was just a bad game, but I did not like this game almost at all. I'd say it's low D tier, but with the caveat that Mike DeLisio has played it more than me and he likes it more than me. So if it interests you at all, go check out his review. We've got a batch of Keltis stuff here. Anyone played any of these?
9-9.
Okay. Kingdom of
I
Dice.
No, not those. Nope.
Nope.
Okay, Kingdom of Dice is a pseudo sequel to Gang of Dice from Mandu Games and of Dice. And I've seen, particularly, I've seen Board Game Omocase on Instagram compare it to Picamino or Heckmech, which I think is actually not a bad comparison, because you are rolling these dice and you are locking in dice as you roll, and you can keep rolling until you effectively bust or until you stop, and you're trying to get a good enough results, or you're trying to get the best result possible. And it's weird because it's like you need at least one crown and you need at least one number, and then it's going to be like your numerical values, your numbers multiplied by your crowns. But the weird thing is, like, if you want to lock in fours, you need at least four of them, so they're very difficult to get. If you want a five, I think you can only have 1 5 total, if I remember correctly. So there's like some really interesting twists to like what you can lock in and what you need. But what's cool is, like, whatever your dice results are, you're going to claim that result on the board. And if somebody else is already there, you get bumped down. And then once there are 7 tokens on the board, and one player could have like 4 or 5 of these out on the board. If they keep not busting, they keep succeeding, then you immediately score that round, and the best result gets the most points, and then second best and third. So you're basically competing over these cards in relative order. I think it's a great dice game. It's one that I have kept so far. I've played it a few times and I've enjoyed it every time. I don't think it's a top tier Knizia dice game, but I'm kind of like high C, low B tier as far as this one goes. I do agree with Board Game Omocase. His review was basically like, this is awesome. I like it more than Picamino. I agree with that. But then he concluded with like, I wish they would have done more with this, because it's like pretty bare bones as far as like the features go. I feel like they could have done a little bit more to make it, I don't know, to satisfy our curiosities as hobbyist gamers. But as is, I think it's a great dice game. Not as strong as Gang of Dice, personally, but I'll leave it at low B tier. That is Kingdom of Dice. Anyone played Yahtzee 7? No takers.
Nope. Let's see.
Is this one that we ranked previously? I cannot remember.
That is the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, which was re-implemented as Samey in the Super Crazy World.
So we did.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and it's
it's
quite low.
It's different too. It's not exactly the same game. So like, just I'd leave it off the list.
All right, that's fair. All right, continuing on.
Out of here.
We have Los Banditos. Anyone? Lost Cities to go. Lost Cities to go. I don't know. I have no idea what this one is. I got to be honest. This is not the roll and write.
Someone asked for it at some point.
Okay.
My next one is Merchants of Andromeda, and I know there's Meister Makatsu in front of that.
Have you played Meister, Jared?
Oh,
Okay, Meister's good. This is a sad one because Amigo has like pulled out of the States. Kind of around the time that tariffs hit, Amigo's like, yeah, we're kind of done making stuff in the U.S. We're going to let somebody else localize our games for us, essentially is what they said. And Meister is actually a pretty solid game. It's kind of a bidding game where you are trying not to take points. Points are bad. And the highest card played of each color in a round must take the associated points for that color. And this one plays up to 6 players, and I think I've only played it at 6 players, but we played it twice in a row. The group was loving it. I was enjoying it. And it's a very interesting game because everybody has the exact same deck with 3 different suits in it. And you just shuffle them all together, and then you have a hand of just a few cards at a time that you're managing, and you're deciding which one to play down. And it's one of those Lost Cities hand management style games where it's like, I don't want to play anything. But what's cool is, like, if I play down a yellow 3, for example, and that feels a little bit high. They do go up to 8. If I play down a yellow 3, I'm worried I'm going to be stuck with two points at the end of the round if if I'm the highest yellow played. But what's cool is everybody has to play 2 cards in the round, and you go around playing 1 card at a time each. And so if somebody else manages to play a higher card or the same card as me, then they get stuck with the points instead of me. So sometimes you have to be brave. You have to be a brave little toaster and play out your card early, hoping that somebody at least ties you to take away those points from you. And if you don't play out these cards, they'll clog up your hand, and you're going to have to play them eventually. And in the later rounds, you'll kind of I think you play 2 cards, and then the 2 cards you don't play, they get put in your draw pile for the next round. So it's like whatever you're choosing not to play, that's what you're going to be stuck with in later rounds. There's some really cool hand management stuff going on here. I think some people are going to play it and just shrug their shoulders and be like, this is too light for me. But in my opinion, it's that sweet spot, kind of like Llama, but with a little more meat on the bone, where it's like, ooh, there's some juicy stuff here. I would definitely recommend this to fans of Knizia card games, because it's doing a lot of cool stuff. So Meister, Mikatsu, ooh, I'm feeling like a high C, low B range, especially because it plays so well at 5 and 6. I almost imagine those are the best player counts for this game, which you don't see a lot of games that do that player count so well. So I'm gonna throw it in low beats here. I definite recommend from me, and I think it has room to grow. I have it ranked as a 7 out of 10 personally. I think that could go up. So next we have Merchants of Andromeda. Uh-oh. Did I lose you guys?
Oh no,
Hey, you
sorry,
muted.
I was
Okay.
just muted.
Yeah.
Have you played this, Jared?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Well, if you want to give us the overview, then we can chat about it a little bit.
All right. Merchants of Andromeda is a reimplementation, a pretty dramatic redevelopment of Merchants of Amsterdam, which the gimmick of that one is the Dutch auction clock, which is where the clock is ticking down, and it's the first person to let it go goes their bids. And then that was associated with a few little mini games, but mostly it was about the clock, and it was this big fancy mechanical device. So they brought this to the 25th century or whatever in the future, and turned the clock into an app, and then they really overhauled all the different mini games. Like before, it was just some really bare bones set collection, area control type things, but now there is all kinds of stuff going on. So I thought it was really, really fun. It was a little overwhelming and difficult to teach because of all the different. Each individual game isn't that difficult, but there are a lot of them, and it's difficult to balance them one over another. But this is it's definitely an improvement over the original, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. My maximalist tendencies, the germ of what is the hot dog man from Mascot Race doing there?
Early. There he
Early.
is.
Love to see him. But my maximalist tendencies, I believe, were planted within me as a child by all of the Where's Waldo books, or Where's Wally for all you across the pond. We had 7 or 8 of those books growing up, and I loved those. I would just read them, I would just, like, yeah. What other, like, look at them? I would look at them over and over and over again. And the illustration of this, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, it's too busy. There's too much going on. It's hard to see, like, what actually matters. And it's like, one, I think you can figure out what matters and what is just decoration pretty easily.
Yeah.
And 2, if you can't, I don't mind. I think it's great. There's just all sorts of crazy little details and crazy little people doing all their crazy little things, and I love it so much. The majority of this redevelopment was by our friend Robert Hovakimian. He's a good boy. We love him dearly, and he was the one who like made most of these new mini games and like did the majority of work on those. And I think like the marriage of that with the base, the auction base, and the yeah, just like yeah, the marriage with the base of the game, I think turned out something that is really, really enjoyable and feels like a sandbox in a way that auction games very rarely are. I think it's really, really fun.
Yeah, this is definitely this is one that surprised me for how polarizing it has been, and that's just because everybody that I've shown this to, I was lucky enough. I'm biased. I've play tested this with Robert. I got a preview copy during the Kickstarter launch to help cover it, and obviously own a final copy now. But I have shown this to a lot of different groups, and every group I've shown it to has absolutely loved it to the point where they requested to play it multiple times. And not in a row, it's a pretty long game, but over multiple different game nights, it is returned to the table. So it really surprised me when it finally came out, and it was more polarizing. There were, like you said, people who felt it was too busy, there was too much going on with all the mini games. I know the design prompt that All Play gave to Robert was basically like, just give us like wildly different, wildly fun mini games that all are wrapped into this DNA of the Dutch auction system. I also really like the subtle way that Robert tweaked the way you do your turn. It's kind of like Biblios, where you flip a card and you choose where to lock it in. And one of them gives you the resources, one of them gives you the action, and one of them you auction off, and whoever wins the auction gets both of those things as a huge reward. And you can choose to try to win the auction yourself and get a lot of action out of one turn. What's funny is like to me it's so fun to do all the mini games to this, like the voting and the spaceship battle and the push your luck discovery flipping, that like I feel like incentivized to bid more than I should, just so I get to play more, especially in a higher player count game, to my detriment, because you're bidding with your points. But that's just kind of the nature of the game, and some people are definitely going to be rubbed the wrong way with how that all shakes down. But I think it's a hoot. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jared.
I love auctions, right? They're one of the purest forms of player interaction, and it because getting to the value systems, but they do ask a lot of you, right? Because it can really be thrown off by a player who is not properly able to evaluate the board state, and your first time playing, it's difficult to evaluate the board state, right? So
yeah,
it's difficult to learn, and I can see people bounce off of uh not even heavy, but like upper medium weight auction games because
yeah.
it will take a few times. So yeah, I agree with Nick. Like I think it's solid, but in today's market, when people are a little bit more based on first impressions, and with auction games, it's when they're full auction games, not just like card games or what have you that you can knock off. It takes a little bit out of you.
Yeah.
How would you guys rank this then?
It's something where, like, I think for me, it's like low A, high B. It's something where, like, I understand it's a lot. It's not something that I'm always going to be in the mood for. It's not something that I'm always going to like have the like energy that I need for. But I mean, that's the same with like Where's Waldo. It's just like when I need that maximalist scratch itched, I need something big. I need something
How about you,
strong. I
Jared?
need something that is too
Yeah,
much.
I put it at
And I
high
love
B.
it for that.
Okay, I had it solid A. So
Oh man.
yeah, I don't know. Where do you guys want it? High B, low A?
Scott, you're the tiebreaker.
Go ahead, Scott.
Man, did you guys? I think my internet is pooping out a little bit.
Oh,
I don't know if you heard anything that I said for the last minute.
you kind of cut off a little bit abruptly, but yeah, it sounded like kind of a natural enough stopping
Okay.
point. So
All right. Well, and then you'll get my recording of it anyway.
Right.
Low A. Low
Okay.
A.
Okay.
And you'll have a reason to listen to the podcast. You get a nice little surprise. Like, oh, Scott did say that.
Excellent.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
that's great.
So next up we have.
Miskatonic University.
Ooh, there it is.
I'll be brief with this one. I got it today. I bullied my cousin into coming over and playing with me, and I couldn't bully any of my other friends. Ooh, I love the cubes. I wish that there was enough space in the all play box for there to be cubes. But that's something.
Yeah, those are nice.
But I bowled him over. I've only played this 2-player. I think it will be much better at higher player counts, but I think what is there is like it's really slick. Overproduced, absolutely. For a push your luck card game, it's way bigger than it needs to be, but at the same time, it makes the most of it. The backstory for this game is absolutely wild. Oh, Callie, get down. Can you still hear me?
Scott is breaking up for me. I don't know if you're getting that,
Yeah.
Nick.
No.
Yeah, we lost you. You said the premise for the game is wild, and then you cut off. So
Okay, sorry. Love my ISP. It's absolutely beautiful. But basically, you are professors at Miskatonic University. You want to be the head of the library, so you can go to the restricted section and you can find the forbidden knowledge there. And then like a creature. Oh my gosh! I am losing my mind here. I hate my internet so much. Absolutely driving me wild.
I think you turn off your video.
Yeah, maybe, or I don't know.
I mean,
we like seeing him though.
It's kind of all or nothing. Like,
Yeah.
if one of you just like keeps moving your head while we're going through this this spat here, just so I know when I'm like connected or anything. Just like keep bopping. Anyways, like a creature escapes, kills a student. The head librarian at the time is like, "Oh, it's fine. We just need to find like the sigil to like banish it and like kill it." And so you go in, and it's like classic Cthulhu, like, "Ooh, find things, but don't find too much, or you'll lose your mind." I'm going to lose my mind with my bloody internet right now. Freaking, oh, good grief. Also, I apologize if any of our international listeners take umbrage at me saying bloody. My cousin served a mission in England, and he says it all the time, and I picked it up and I lived with him for like 4 years. So,
Stuck.
anyways, there are 3 categories of card that you can flip over on your turn. There's one that has 3 different types of cards. There's one that has 7 different types of cards, and one that has just one type of card. Grad students, Elder Sigil, Grimoire fragments, and it's slick. Like, it's a really slick, simple system. If you don't like the card you flip over, you have cards, like one-time use cards that you can defend yourself with, and those can get refreshed in different ways. It's something I'm like, I want to play this more because I think it's like honestly like way better than I expected it to be, and it's like not sure Ian O'Toole did the art.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
if that's
some of
true,
it at least. Yeah,
I like the graphic design a lot. So like, thumbs up, Ian.
nice.
Anyways, I would put this like complete middle of C tier. We gotta speed this up.
Climbing the rungs. All right, Miskatonic University. We are on to either of these or Oshia Tokyo. Oshia Tokyo. Okay. This is another one I got to play at Essen. And I want you to imagine with me, what if Poison or Baker's, what is it, the Friday the 13th? What if those games were just worse? What if you could play a worse, completely dry vanilla version of those games? What do you think?
Dream come true.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening.
I got your attention now. So
I mean, I love the guys pushing on the numbers in the middle of the card. That's incredible.
The theme is hilarious. I'm just so sad that the game is a letdown because it's basically like players have a hand of, I don't know if it's 5 cards, something like that, and these cards range from roughly 1 to 10. And on your turn, you just play a card to the middle, and it adds to whatever's currently in the middle. So I play a 5, and then you play a 3, and now it's at 8. And then, Jared, you play a 2, and now it's at 10. And we keep going around playing a card and drawing a card until it goes over 21. And then when it goes over 21, that player essentially busts, and the previous player gets to take all those cards in the middle as points. And that is Oshia Tokyo. And it's like, oh man, we played this at the maximum player count, which I think is 5. And after like 3 minutes, we're all just like, what is this? And yeah, I think the general feeling was like, this might be one of the worst card games I've ever played in my life. So
Wow.
it was bad. I could see maybe if you're into card counting and you're playing it at a much lower player count than the maximum of 5, there might be a nugget of something there. But just play Friday the 13th. Just play Poison instead. This was a really bad game. None of us liked it. And I actually picked up a copy of this. And it's funny because an all-play employee, he pulled it out of his bag. And I'm like, oh, I've got that too. Let's play it. And immediately we're just like, all right.
I've got that too. Let me get rid of it.
Yeah. So that is Oshia Tokyo. Hard. Don't recommend.
Yeah, nothing is different. Whatever hitch or strangeness you're noticing right now is just completely non-existent. We're just moving on to the next game. Didn't have to wait 2 days to finish it because we have so many opinions and thoughts about board games that we couldn't contain ourselves. No. Don't even worry about it. Just look at the Reiner Knizia plush and think combinatorial thoughts.
Perfect.
Where are we at?
I think we're at pause up, unless Niwa or Mysterious Dungeon has been played by either
I think
of
it's
you.
pause up.
Pause up it is. Okay, so pause up is a newer Knizia game just released last year. This was another one I picked up at Essen Spiel, but I'm pretty sure you can acquire it from anywhere at this point. This one to me feels a lot like Money, where you have a hand of cards. You're bidding with that hand of cards to exchange your bid with something else, and you're trying to assemble something out of your hand of cards. The way this is different from Money is you are trying to assemble sets of icons or sets of numbers, I believe. There's a lot of different icons and suits and animals going on in the game, and some of them have multiple different icons on them, the cards that you're bidding with. Here's an example of that. And everybody reveals one card at the same time, and the highest bidder gets to draft something from the display first, or swap something rather from the display first. I think there's about 3 cards usually in the display. So they get to do a swap, and then the next highest bidder does a swap. And so you can end up with somebody else's card that they bid with in your hand. But what matters is that you're racing to complete these objectives first. And first person to claim it is going to get the most points. So if I take this nice sofa card, I'm going to get 15 points, and then the next person might only get 12, and it just decreases from there. And so you play over the course of a few rounds, trying to basically assemble these sets faster than other people, gun for the highest valued cards that nobody's claimed yet, and see who ends up with the most points to win. This to me is it's a nice little card game. But I prefer Money. Money, I think, is a more spicy version, a more interesting and dynamic and variable version of Pause Up. Pause Up is more, it's got the rails up, it's got the bumpers up, and it's more structured. You only swap one card for one card. It's very clear what you're trying to do, whereas Money is more... It's more wispy. It's more opaque. It's more spicy. You can exchange 2 cards for 6 cards. You can exchange 5 cards for 1 card, and people make really bad decisions and end up doing horribly in Money. Whereas in Pause Up, it's all kind of samey, but in a interesting enough way. It's Reiner rarely makes a bad card game. He usually has something interesting there. So to me, it's kind of a low C tier game. That is Pause Up. Next, we have another card game in Piñatas.
Oh, yeah. Have we talked about Marshmallow Test or Voodoo Prince or Piñatas at all?
I think we talked about Marshmallow Test in the past. I don't think we talked about Voodoo Prince because it's lower on the tier list, so we might as well just chunk that in as well for anyone who's played.
Oh, yeah.
So
Because these 3 games are very similar. They're trick-taking games. And very like run-of-the-mill trick-taking games like must follow. So whoever leads in a suit, everyone has to follow, play a card of that suit. The twist comes from how the scoring works. When you score 3 tricks, you are out of the round, and you score points for every trick that all the other players have. But if you are the last person out, you only score your tricks. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to be the second to last person out to maximize your points. And it's like it's a very simple twist, but it makes just so many of these like little spiky decisions, so many of these opportunities to screw people over. There's a few cards that when you win with a 5 or a 7, you split it into 2 tricks. And if someone plays down a 5 and really doesn't want to win with it, and you can make them, you can kick them out of the round early. Like the 0 beats the highest card. There's just all these like tiny little wrinkles in very, very traditional trick taking that elevate this to something absolutely like really, really great. So Voodoo Prince is the original. It has very traditional play around for each player and then count up points. It has the special action cards, and then Marshmallow Test re-implemented that. They took out the special action cards, they made it to a point threshold that you're playing to, and then Piñatas combined the two, where there's a point threshold you're playing to now, but it has the special cards still, and also fabulous, fabulous art, which you would have seen before. We're looking at Voodoo Prince now.
Yeah, this is a great trick taking game. It's actually one of my favorites, and like you said, it's nothing crazy. A lot of trick taking games these days are putting in these wild twists that kind of melt your brain sometimes. This one is very straightforward, but it's just so solid. Of like
That's Skull King.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, got to mix.
I think someone edited Skull King
Oh.
to make Voodoo Prince work, and then put it on the gallery.
There
We love creativity.
There we
you
go.
know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I get a kick out of this. This is one of my favorite trick takers, precisely because of you're trying to be the second to last, ideally, to go out, and definitely not the first, definitely not the last. But it's got some teeth to it. Have you played any of these games, Jared?
So I have only played Marshmallow Test, which I like a great deal. Do you think the special card it's worth seeking out and trying the Piñata version now?
It doesn't make a ginormous difference. You're largely going to come away having the same experience, but I do think if I'm going to keep one, it's Piñatas for sure. I think it's the best. It takes the best of both prior games and mixes it into, kind of just the best you can get, the best hits of this design, and like what Scott said, delightful artwork. So it's my
But
favorite
does
of
it
the three.
have foam marshmallow scoring counters?
Does not have
No,
squishy
alas, it does
marshmallows.
not.
See, that might be a deal breaker for me. But yeah,
That
very
is
cool.
something. But this is like A tier for me. This is like the quintessential, like one of the quintessential like Knizia card games for me. It is approachable. It is fast. It is funny. And Piñatas is $19 with $4 shipping, and like you can't really beat that. Would I prefer if it was in a smaller, not square box? Yes, still. Always for card games should be the smallest box as possible, but it's more space for the art, and the art is absolutely just eye-poppingly colorful. Pun intended.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree with A tier. I actually had Marshmallow Test in C tier when I was the only one who had played it, but it's grown on me since then. And like I said, I think Piñatas is a little bit better. And so, yeah, you can talk me higher for sure. Do we think these two games should be higher than where they're currently at, or should they stay in the C?
I think put them at the very top of B tier, because like Piñata's like just it's an incremental change. It's not a huge change, but it's enough to like set it apart,
Yeah, sounds good. Any disagreement there, Jared?
No, I think Marshmallow Test is a solid B, and if the other versions iterate, then
Yeah.
yeah, great card game. And when did Voodoo Prince first come out?
Oh,
It
I want to
is.
say like 2012.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah, because
super
that was kind
old.
of prior to the trick-taking
Oh,
resurgence.
17.
2017.
Wow. It started
Yeah,
the
so
I think
trick-taking renaissance.
yeah.
everyone was like, "Ooh, this game's great. What if we made it like 5 times more complicated?"
Yeah, that was 2017, and Marshmallow Test was 2020, and now we have Piñatas, which was 2025. So, yeah, great little game. Definitely recommend it. Next, we have. Oh, I feel like we talked about these, but you have played them again more recently, or the newer version, right, Scott, of the
Oh,
Golden
the Quest for
Temples.
Eldorado Golden Temples.
Yeah.
This is, I'll stay brief because Quest for Eldorado, favorite game, number one. Well, actually, technically, it's number two. Number one is Reiner Knizia. But I think the newer version is already on the tier list. I think it is a very Ra and Priests of Ra situation. If we only had Priests of Ra and Quest for Eldorado Golden Temples, they would never leave my collection. But their progenitors, I think, are like sharper and just like more classic in certain ways. Such that it kind of invalidates them to a certain degree. I think it's still really good. It's still really fun.
Yeah.
But the way that the map building has changed and the way that the market has changed, just sort of, it feels like they detooth the bottom jaw of the wolf, and it's only got the top teeth. And you're like, well, it still has half the teeth, but it doesn't quite work in the same way anymore.
Yeah. But if you really want crazy Eldorado, you can combine the base game with the Golden Temples and have like a 2 to 3 hour game, and it's pretty wild. But I have done it before, and it's quite fun. So,
or you could just pay 3,000 USD to get all the Finnish Eldorado with all the expansions and Dangers of Muisca, which kind of just does Golden Temples better.
Kind of does.
I agree with Scott. The core system is rock solid, of course, but one of my favorite aspects of Eldorado is the blocking, and it makes the positioning. So with that being diffused with the various temples, and you can kind of go in your own way, I did feel that undercut it a little bit, and as Scott said, in Mushika, the shrines where it does that still kind of checkpoint process, but
Although I think I did
better
share my
implemented.
experience in like part 3 of this episode where 2 players headed at a bottleneck at the same time, and neither of them would move out of the way. They refused to budge, and so I'm off somewhere else, just like getting way ahead of them. And yeah, I mean, long story short, I smoked them getting to the finish line.
Yeah, like
So-
it's still a great game.
Yeah.
It's still a game where the system leads to really interesting situations, but I think generally less interesting overall. But the new edition does have single direction walls, and when I played, I made a map that curled in on itself. And so you had to go through, and I thought that was really lovely. Like, I don't really like the way they're like, ooh, do the 3 map tiles in 3 completely different directions. I'm like, or you could have it go in one direction and keep the blocking a little more relevant in there. Anyways, we can move on. But don't show me the next one. I don't want to look.
Yeah,
you can't. It's too soon.
We gotta move on. We gotta move quickly. Quirkle Flex.
It's the Quest for Eldorado dice game that's only available in the Netherlands.
Feels bad. Oh, you even got the English translation
They're just
on there.
teasing me.
But yeah, they haven't even announced that yet, huh? In like English or North America. That's
As if they will.
feels bad. Feels bad. All right, Quirkle
Anyways.
Flex. I assume I'm the only one who's played this, but I assume I'm not the only one who's played Quirkle. Is that correct?
Good old Quirkle. It's just Big Five, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so Quirkle is essentially, it's not a Knizia game, but you are adding matching backgrounds or like matching colors or shapes, actually, to lines, rows, or columns to score points for those. It's very tactical, very approachable family weight game that's The box, I think, brags about how many millions of copies it's sold. It feels very Ingenious-like to me in a lot of ways. And then you have Quirkle Flex, which is Reiner being like, I wish I would have designed this. So here, let me do my own co-designed spin-off where he introduces a third layer to the game. Let me pull it up here. And that is the layer of backgrounds. There are 3 different kinds of backgrounds. There is white, there is black, and there is the third, which people think is a wild, but it is not. It's its own third thing. So,
which is just wild because they made it half black, half white.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just make it gray or like any other shade?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So that one you can score as well. You can score it in the diagonal direction, which is kind of funky. And so it just gives you a little more to think about. It's like the gamer's version of Quirkle, I'd say, because there's just more to consider. And it's fun. I played it 2 or 3 times and definitely enjoyed it. But at the end of all of my plays of it, I was like, you know what? I feel like Quirkle is kind of just a worse version of Ingenious. And maybe that's my Knizia bias showing. But the reason I say that is because Quirkle is less interactive and less mean and less toothy than Ingenious, which is very, very nasty sometimes when you look across the table and you see that your opponent desperately needs more red points to bring up their score, because just like Tigris and Euphrates, you score your lowest of the bunch. And so you proceed to block out all the red scoring that can possibly happen. You don't get that kind of interaction in Quirkle, so it's just not as fun to me. This is one that I'd say is like, I don't know, low C tier. I think most people would enjoy it, but I'd rather play pretty much any version of Ingenious, except, I don't know, would we say it goes above or below this one here?
Ingenious challenges. I don't know. I know Ingenious Challenges is where it's supposed to be. I don't know about Quirkle Flex.
Okay, well, I think most people would enjoy it. We'll leave it there. I think it's better Quirkle, so good job, Reiner. I assume it is. I've actually never played Quirkle, but I appreciated the background scoring. So there's that. All right.
It's interesting. Like along with Carcassonne the Castle, like seeing him play in other sandboxes.
Yeah.
I find that an interesting challenge in the way that he goes. So I would like to see him do it in some other ones. That would be maybe a topic for a different day. Which one would we want him to Reinerify?
Yeah, give us Knizia Ticket to Ride and Knizia Pandemic and like a lot of these classic games. I'd love to see his take on them, because other designers have done like their version of Pandemic and stuff. So yeah, it'd be cool if he got his hands on something like that. I agree.
And then what if they themed it like, I don't know, like Lord of the Rings, and then they made it not like the Pandemic system, but like you're going through like the journey of it, and then they republished it with all the expansions, so I could like try all the expansions. I don't know. Like there's a huge Lord of the Rings boom right now, and I'm like, you have a board game by an esteemed like designer with 4 expansions, or 3 or 4 expansions just waiting in the wings. That's just printing money at this point.
I don't know. That one felt pretty dated to me. I feel like it has not aged as well as a lot of other cooperative or Knizia games, but maybe with I never tried the expansions. Maybe those are where it's at. So, but I know there are still huge fans of the game though. Ra Traders. This is a new expansion for Ra that just came out last year, right? I have not played this. Has anyone played this?
I have not.
No.
It always, like, from the announcement, it always felt like something that was superfluous.
Yeah.
Because Raw is, like, so classic and perfect on its own. What I've seen has been positive. Like, there's been multiple people, like, in the Knizia Discord who are like, oh, yeah, it just doesn't leave the bag. It's just another thing. And I'm like, okay, but, like, does Raw really need another thing?
Yeah.
Like, if it makes it better, that's very interesting. If it doesn't make it worse, then that's something that I'm like, you don't necessarily need it.
Yeah,
but I haven't played it.
I would try it. I don't think it would fit in my box. I have the like deluxe wood edition, and that box is bursting at the seams. So I don't know how people are fitting it into certain versions that they have. But yeah, it sounds really cool. So raw and right. I've played this. Has anyone else? Is that a yes?
Not
No.
I, said the little green
Yeah.
pig.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This. Oh, go ahead.
I was impressed with Ron Wright. So I had not played. This was the third version I played, and
Hmm.
I'm not the biggest of the verb and right uh,
Same.
genre, but I found this one pretty interesting. Like the way it brought in that like semi push your luck aspect of the card flips and raw being revealed, which puts a little bit of time pressure on you and your choices.
Hmm.
And then the way that you can't max it out, you do have to focus on something. And yeah, I thought the different modules were distinct. So I was pretty pleasantly surprised by this one. It did not blow my mind, but my expectations were fairly low. So
Yeah.
it exceeded them.
Yeah, actually, I had a very similar take as you. I played this around the same time that I played The Hobbit, there and back again. And playing The Hobbit there and back again, it's like, yeah, I think I'm good. I think I never need to play another roll and write again. And of course, I had this sitting on my shelf, so I try raw and write, and I'm like, shoot, this is actually pretty good. And I think the raw system does a lot of the heavy lifting, to be honest, because it's very similar structurally. You still have the three eras. You still have the push your luck tension of like, okay, do I finish scoring this now? Do I take it while I can, or do I hope that the round lasts longer? And then the scoring, kind of the set collection style scoring, it just works. I don't know. It's like one of the most perfect scoring systems, and that's presumably why Reiner keeps using it in so many different games and spin-offs. But yeah, I only played this at 2 players, and I really enjoyed it. I would happily play it again. The question becomes like, is this something I would break out over raw? And the answer is almost always no. But at 2 players, I think I would. I could see myself playing this over raw, just because I think raw shines at 3 to 4, especially. And at 2 players, it's fine, but like I think this one suits it a little bit better. I could see how it'd be a little bit more of a pain to play this at like 5 players and trying to be track everybody's sheets. It's just not as readable inherently with the roll and write. But yeah, really good roll and write game, honestly, or verb and write game. I think it's one of the best in the genre, and that's thanks to raw. So where would you rank it, Jared?
Uh, middle B.
Yeah, that's fair. I think
How about you?
I had it like C tier, and that's just because like, well, raw exists, so why would I play this?
Yeah,
So, but I'm fine to go like low B, because it's
yeah.
quite good. It really is. I've seen some people who it bounced off of it, where they kind of had that vibe of like, why would I ever play this over raw? But I don't know. I was
But
very
you could say
pleasantly
that about
surprised.
any game, like any game that exists.
Mm.
You could
Why would I
instead be
play this
playing
over
raw.
raw?
Yeah.
That's
And
fair.
yeah, if you ask yourself that question, like you're gonna have an existential
Yeah,
crisis, my friend.
it's pretty high up there. It's way up in the clouds, up in the heavens of board gamedom. So it's a lofty height to reach. Ratzia. I have an unopened copy of this that I'm trying to sell. Has anyone
Yeah.
played this?
I played Ratzia,
Okay.
and for this one, the comparison is like even more direct,
Yeah.
right? So there are a couple of tweaks
Hmm.
with the rules and like the way the gangsters work and having the different colors,
Yeah.
but it is almost entirely raw the card game, but then
Hmm.
it's not that much smaller of a footprint and
Yeah.
doesn't take any faster. So it literally is why would you not just play
Mm.
raw?
Yeah, I think its biggest selling point would be like if it came in a really small portable package, then it's like portable raw. But it's currently, and it is not that small. So yeah, and the things I've heard is just basically exactly what you said. It's just a, I don't know, less meaningful version of raw. Where would you rank it though, having played it?
It's strange because again, the core system is just raw, and
Yeah.
so it's excellent, but so in a
Yeah.
vacuum, like if this was the only thing that exists, I think it would be a terrific game. So
Yeah.
I don't really know
Hmm.
how I'd Yeah, I
Where
don't
do we
know.
have where do we have Priests of Ra?
Ooh,
Just
yeah,
put it
that's a
right
good,
over there.
yeah, right next to Priests of Ra. That's a good point.
But
I can
definitely, I
find
think
it.
lower because like there's something like Priests of Ra I respect because it's trying something different.
Hmm.
I don't think it's as good, but it's still not literally just turning everything into cards and then putting it in too big of a box.
Hmm. Yeah, to me, I think it's just the opportunity cost or like the trade off of like, yeah, this game doesn't have much of a purpose, and that really brings it down. That's why I haven't even opened it. I talked myself into picking up a copy, and now I'm trying to get rid of it. So it's like, just from everything I've heard, which is sad. But here we are. I cannot find Priest of Ra actually. It's buried in the sea of Kinezia's. I can
The
find
Sea of
Ra the Dice
Seas.
game. I don't think it's. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it doesn't differentiate itself as well as Ra the Dice game. I'd say high D tier. It's like, hey, make yourself into a smaller box, and then we'll talk.
That's fair.
But it's like D tier with an asterisk, or it's like if Rod didn't exist, it'd be in the
Yeah,
gold.
yeah. Top of
Yeah.
the D. All right, Razia's. I hear Razia's a little bit different. I hear they changed Ratzia, but
Yeah, they took out the disaster tiles, I believe,
Hmm.
in Razia, and like the distribution is a little bit different, where it has somewhat more of its own identity, and it's also in like a more portable box, and it also has like better art.
okay.
And it's something where I'm like, I'd be willing to try
Yeah.
it. Would I be willing to pay $60? No,
Oh, is that the going rate? That's rough.
I have no idea,
Yeah,
but
probably not. That'd be surprising. Ramsey's Pyramid. Has anyone played that or Racing Hedgehogs? No.
Ramsey's
Let's see.
Pyramid.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I have it right here.
Lego boy.
Oh, you
So-
got it. Let's go. You came
I-
prepared.
I love Lego.
Uh-huh.
I love Knizia.
Uh-huh.
The two together, I'm right in that Venn diagram, and
Yep.
this game was painful. Like, I didn't like it. My kids didn't
Oh,
like
no.
it. It's,
5.0.
yeah, like I suppose you can give some credit in that it is a functional game made out of a Lego set,
Yeah.
but that's about it. So I leave it built as just a novelty piece.
Part of the Shriner.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love it.
it's on my shelf. It looks nice and it's an interesting concept, but
So the
no,
game part of it brings it down on the list, but the showcase part of it brings it up. That makes it a tough one to rank on the tier list because it looks so cool. It's like, gosh, why wasn't this a fun game? But yeah, it seems like you are in the general consensus there. Where would you rank it?
F
F.
is
Oh no.
is bad.
We'll put it
F
We'll put it
for
high F
Pharaoh.
for
Yeah.
looking good, just like Monster Chef. It looks good, but don't play.
Yeah. If
Look-
you want to play a
don't
Lego
touch.
game, Monkey Palace is serviceable. Monkey Palace is fun.
Yeah.
And you actually like building with the Legos, and it's not just set dressing.
So relationship tightrope is one that I have talked about already in the form of Odd Socks, which is the exact same game from what I understand, but with a more flavorful theme here with relationship tightrope, I guess you could say. Have either of you played this? Did you want to share anything? Any thoughts?
No,
I've played
had,
and enjoyed Odd Socks as well.
Nice. I've seen copies of like Zen
there
Master
is.
and Odd Socks
Yeah.
floating around, but it's always just been like, oh, bye-bye.
Yeah, I think it's like an enjoyable card game. Nothing super standout about it, but like, yeah, I'll play it if you bust it out. It's a good time. So yeah, we had it in the C tier, relationship tightrope. Yeah, it's an older version. So if you're curious to see, I think it's a more controversial theme nowadays. Just having a lot of gender tropes, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
can
It's like a
reminisce
boomer
here.
Facebook post.
There you go. Relationship tightrope.
Sorry, wait a second. The bug eyes on the 7 card right there. That is clothes. New clothes. I'm losing my mind.
Look at that face. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind
I
of
think
rough.
the,
Kinda rough.
yeah, the core loop is solid. Like this is a good little game with like trying to just get the balance. Like your score is the differential. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the changing incentives about when you really, really care
Hmm.
about getting the stuff. And yeah,
Yeah.
I really like it when like things are worth more to different people,
Hmm.
right? So if I have a lot of blue and you have a lot of red, like I don't care about this one and you desperately care about it. Like
Yeah.
I find that changing incentive structure really interesting.
Yeah, there's a cool arc over the course of the game, so definitely one, if you get the chance to play it, I'd say it's definitely worthwhile. Cool. On to rock and roll, Rummy 17, Shots des Phonics. Is this one I showed you, Scott?
This is one that we played.
Yeah.
It's a sort of like multiplayer battle line system. There are three different treasures of the phoenix in the middle of the table. And the way that it does it, I think, is very clever because each of the players can play up to 3 cards on each one. And they play to their side of the hexagon. And so, like, for having 3 different places where up to 6 players can play multiple cards, it's a very, very clean system, and I really, really like the way that they did that.
Yeah.
The game itself is like is good. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like built on Schottentotten, and Schottentotten's like the greatest card game of all time. So, like, you can't help but make a good game.
Yeah. There's a lot of luck to it as far as like what cards you acquire and things like that. But there are some interesting decisions to be had as far as like which nest do I bid for? Do I think I'm in contention here? Is it worth using my best cards, my best combination here or somewhere else? And yeah, I enjoyed playing it. But where would you rank it, Scott?
For me, it's like totally middle of the road, totally like forgettable in one
Yeah.
degree and like interesting in another. It's like very, very C, like the very definition where it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, like if. Oh no. My cat is a confirmed Carl Chuddick hater. She just knocked down a copy of Uchronia.
She's looking for
She's-
innovation next.
No, not innovation. The actual greatest card game ever made. Sean Totten, greatest traditional card game. Innovation, greatest card game ever made.
That's fair.
Anyways, so yeah, I'd put this in C tier. Like if it was my first Reiner Knizia game, it would blow my mind, and I would love it forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But it was like my 120th or something, and so it's like, yeah. Reiner can make good games.
Good job, Reiner. It's a decent card game. Yeah, I agree. I think it's like high D, low C for me, so I'm happy to keep it in C there. I think I got rid of my copy though. It's like I'm not gonna break this out very much. It's just not the most compelling or memorable card game. So shots. Speaking of shots, Shots der Drachen. I assume none of us have played this. Which
Not I.
moves us on to Shall We? Shall We? I got sent a review copy of this actually. I haven't sought out review copies in quite a while, but I did break down and ask Korea Board Games for one of these so I could cover it. And unfortunately it wasn't as strong as I was hoping. This is a very, very, very casual game. This is like when people talk about, oh, this is a social game where you get together and you have a conversation while you're doing things with your hands. That's exactly what this is. To the point where, after 2 plays, I was like, not for me. Because there are games that I think they have a bit of spice, a bit of kick to them, or a bit of novelty to them that are super light that I enjoy playing, and then there are games that are like, we're just filling spaces here until somebody wins, and that's basically what you're doing. You have it's a nice production. You have this rack of tiles, and to start out the game, everybody seeds the board with some tiles from their hand, and then when you play a tile, it can only be adjacent to another tile that's already out. And there's ways to score bonuses by covering certain spots or completing certain pairs or things like that. And they do add a slight extra layer of complexity where, like, if you play so many in a row or something, or trigger a combo, then you get a bottle ability. But it's at the end of the day, it's all very random and kind of mindless. And there's very, very light strategy to it. So to me, this is like, if I want to play this style of game, I'm going to go to something more like Sunrise Lane or Rondo, because those are also very tactical, opportunistic. You're just playing tiles from your hand, what you got. But to me, those are much more interesting games. So this one, interestingly, it's based on like a 100-year-old game. When I did my review of it, yeah, there we go. Start 11, the board game. So this is Reiner like doing his own spin on a game that is, and this is an older version of Shelby here from Knizia. But if you go even further back to 1925, you got this card game here that
It's like
basically
a folk game? Wow.
yeah, uncredited. There's no designer to it, but Reiner took it and he's like, I'm going to turn it into a board game, and he did, and it's a game. So to me, this is D tier. Great production, but as far as the realm of family weight games goes, it's pretty low on the list for me. It kind of, the first game was kind of amusing, and then after that, it just quickly ran out of steam. So I'd put it low D tier personally. Next one we have, where are we at? Sherlock Holmes. No?
I think my next game is Weedle.
Weedle.
That's the last thing for me on the list.
Yeah, I'm not recognizing any of these until Weedle. Yeah. So, have you played Weedle, Jared?
I have not.
Oh,
I don't believe so.
Weedle. All right, Scott, take it away. Weedle.
Weedle, very simple game. Let me see if I can. Is this? Nope, that's Pictomania, the greatest party game ever made. Here we go. Weedle, very simple game. It was made by the same people who made Apples to Apples, if you can believe that. Out of the box, you can play. This is the game. It is a deck of cards, but it is an active, real-time trading game where you're trying to make majorities of different companies that have different amounts of cards in them. If you're thinking to yourself, that sounds a little bit like Pit, or a little bit like real-time startups, or something like that, you are correct. It is fast. It is frenetic. You are making trades with people where it's just like, hey, I've got an orange. Who wants an orange? Like, ooh, I want an orange. Okay, do you have a blue? Like, ooh, okay. If I'm going to give you a blue, I want an orange and a yellow. And you're like, okay. And the thing that makes it very spicy is that there is a card in the middle of the table. And at any point, any player can trade one of their cards with the card in the middle of the table. And at the end of the round, wait, let me restart that sentence. The round ends when someone has nothing but majorities in their hands. They shout Weedle because you have to, because it's the name of the game. It's a Reiner Knizia game, and every game where you shout the name of the game, don't check the rulebook, don't fact check me on that one. But you end the round. Depending on who has majorities, that player gains points from other players. But the card in the center is sort of the black sheep. Like, that company scores negative points. And it's wild. It's wacky. It's quite good.
Yeah, I have an interesting story about Weedle, because this is a game that, interestingly, as the publisher of
yes.
Zuvadis, which is probably, I think I can safely say, Knizia's most popular negotiation game, I had never heard of Weedle. But at PAX Unplugged, I think it was 2024, I had the chance to bump into Cole Worley, of all people. He came up to our booth, and we were chatting for a minute. And then out of his bag, this is like nonchalant. This isn't like him coming to me being like, I got to show you something. This is like, oh, hey, I like your games. I want to chat. And then we chatted a bit. And then he's like, oh, by the way, let me show you this game that I take with me everywhere I go. Like, I play this at like all the conventions. And he pulls out of his bag Weedle, Reiner Knizia's Weedle. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Cole Worley is like a super fan, or like a cult fan of this game that I've never heard of. And he's like, yeah, you gotta pick it up. It's only like $5 in the used market, which is true. It's like dirt cheap. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Sweet. I got to try this. If it has Cole's endorsement, it's probably a fantastic hidden gem. So then I pick up a copy and we're playing it at, was it Dice Tower West with you and me and Robert, who was instantly a fan. And then we happened to show it to, I don't think this is a huge spoiler, but we showed it to Joe Wiggins of All Play. And in the very play, his first play of it, I think it was before that session was even over. It was after like one round. He's like, all right, just give me a second. And he pulls out his phone and he emails Knizia Games and he's like, I want to sign this right now. So like not even one play into the game, Joe's already looking to sign Weedle and do a new version of it. So for those of you who are like, ooh, this sounds really fun, I'm going to tell you, wait, because there's going to be a much better looking version of the game coming out soon. And yeah, I think this is a riot. It's like a more interesting, spicy version of Pit. I love how somebody can end the round and you get stuck with all these negative cards because you couldn't get rid of them or you were so close to getting the majority. And yeah, just super fun. We had a blast playing this at Dice Tower West with a bunch of people. So
Yeah, and I don't know if you've corrected this sense, but we actually played it a little bit wrong. The card in the middle of the table is face down. And
really?
I think we had it face up for our plays.
Interesting.
So it's like there's a little mystery there.
Oh wow!
And I
did
think
not
that's
know
something
that.
I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, it definitely changes the game because when you have it face up, you're trying to pay attention, and when something's there that you want, you're trying to grab it, and then it's super funny when the round ends and somebody looks up at the middle of the table and they're like, I am so dumb. It was right there.
What the heck?
So, where would you rank Weedle, Scott?
I am not as enamored with it as definitely not Robert,
Yes,
and I don't think as you either. Right. I think for me it would be like B for pretty good, especially considering how simple, how dirt simple and approachable it is, and how funny it can get. But it's also something where I'm like, whew. Maybe just playing with like Robert especially was like, Robert, slow down, relax. And I think also maybe like playing with the face down card, people would be a little less like frenetic with like, especially like changing out.
Yeah,
and, like,
a little less chaotic.
Do that.
Yeah, I could see that helping. Yeah, it is definitely a high energy, high chaos game. And you got to act quickly. Like, I think there were some plays of this where I was just tired and I could not keep up with like all the lightning trades that were going on. And I'm like, guys, I don't, like deals were happening faster than I could compute what I wanted from my hands. So
yeah,
I could see that, but also I love this game. I have a blast with it. So I say high B tier is a great
It's really
spot.
cool. It's really cool.
I'm excited for the new version. It should be a delight. And then finally Zen Master, which I think is a spin on another game we might have talked about already.
I think it's Relationship Tightrope and Odd Socks.
Okay.
Like I'm pretty sure it's the same system.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and check just a little board game geek here. Let me
Who
see
gets
about
there
that.
first? I think you're right on that.
Yes, it re-implements Relationship Tightrope.
Okay.
It takes troublesome. Wow, my brain just stopped. I think I just achieved a little drop of Zen right now, simply looking at this game. Because it is something that I have long wanted to try out because I think the art style is very striking, but I've never gotten around to it.
Okay. Well, we'll put it right next to the other ones, assuming it's basically the same experience, close enough. We'll rank it, even though we haven't played it. That's a bit of cheating, but you know.
I mean, we've ranked games that have only had a cover before.
That's speculative. It's different, Scott.
It's different. It has been out for 16 years.
All right. Well, that does it for our new rankings, but we are not
Incorrect.
Finished. We are not finished.
Objection. Because times have changed. Life has changed.
Yes.
I've grown. I've changed. You've grown. You've changed. Certain opinions need to be revisited.
You got much quieter,
in the face.
Scott.
What?
You're significantly quieter than you were about 10 seconds ago.
Oh, I think that's Am I back to normal?
Nope.
No. How about now? Is this good?
Is that, I don't know, is that close to...
How about now? Is this
Yeah, I
is
mean
this
that's
good?
a lot louder. Yeah, maybe you were just yelling too much, and then your normal
I
volume is.
yeah, just like wait, I can't even hear
I'm
this
getting
guy
my
anymore
hearing back now.
because I. But
Anyway,
yes, I think I have a list of 7 games that I would like to revisit and be brief about it, of course,
Yeah.
because we've already talked about them mostly at length. But I don't know if you guys have games that you want to talk about as well, or if you just want to riff with me.
I assume Jared
we
has
could,
some
like-
too. This feels like I feel like Jared's been storing up for the Kamehameha of sorts, the bombshell, re-ranks.
I'm not prepared for this, so
Oh, okay.
think-
Yeah, I'm not either actually. So
Okay,
this is
well
gonna be
then-
from the hip for me.
yeah.
All right, my first game then is going to be Marabunta. Marabunta is excellent.
Yeah.
It is so sharp. It is so smart. It is so just like a kind of just a perfect box. When I look at it, I think to myself,
They really did real good with that ant game, you know?
and I was going to fight for it to be in like A tier, but it's already in A tier.
Yeah.
And it's already at the top of A tier.
So
And so it's like, oh, I guess maybe I don't need to talk about Marabunta. Maybe I just wanted to say that I like it again. It's just like, yeah, it's really good. You should play it.
We were
I'd be
talking
willing.
earlier.
Go ahead.
We were talking earlier about the Verban right and how like it's kind of played out, except for enter Marabunta, who is amazing. Yep. So it's a terrific game, and the area control, I split, you choose, rolling right, like it's madness. And then he's the undisputed master of the head-to-head 1v1 game, and this is like it joins the pantheon in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bump it up even higher, honestly, because I loved Marabunta from the first play, and I've loved every play since, and it's just deliciously painful and nasty and cutthroat. And I think, like you said, it's if you can legally slot it into the roll and write, verb and write genre, then this is by far the best one I've ever played because it honestly feels more like a tile laying area majority game.
I mean, it kind of is.
So
It's really good.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bump it up. Are we okay with S tier, mid S tier, low, high? What are we feeling?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And then I think, yeah. I mean, you can't be accused of like being a complete like bias for Bitewing because you just moved it past Iliad.
Yeah.
Although revisiting
And
this
Gazebo.
list, I think I'd switch Icor and Iliad.
Oh, you'd switch
I
them
think I'd
back,
switch
huh?
I think I'd switch them because I found myself playing and thinking of Iliad more, and I love them both.
Yeah, it's had the staying power for you. Because I know.
like it's had. Go ahead.
Well, both of us, I think, when we came out, we felt like Iliad was the stronger of the two on initial play, and then there's kind of that. The more you play Icor, the more it just like gets more and more interesting. But I think it does need it needs an opponent who's willing to go that distance, similar to Blue Moon Legends, honestly, where it's like, let's dig into this, let's really master these asymmetric abilities. And if you end up playing with newcomers the whole time, then you may not get that deep to really appreciate Icor, whereas Iliad it just hits with anybody right away. So,
and it always hits.
Yeah.
I think I would switch those two.
Okay. That's fine with me.
All right, fellas. The next game is Blue Moon City. Where is it? Where is it?
City. It is low. It is low.
I know, and
low.
this is why I'm like, I need to fix this one.
Right your wrongs. This is
right my
notably
wrongs.
the Dice Tower, when they did their top 100 Knizia games, this was their number one game, which I think is
And
categorically wrong. But maybe
Oh,
maybe they overrated it and maybe we underrated it. Maybe that's
I still don't. Yeah, I'm like, let's meet in the middle here because it's like I don't think it's the greatest Knizia game of all time. But I've played it a lot more, especially like with my wife at 2 players, and then playing with like kind of silly. There it is. Yeah,
I see.
it needs to go. I think at least in like high B tier, if not A tier. I think it's excellent. Just put it at like the top of B tier.
Yeah.
Because it's coming out with a new Discworld edition. Oh, people will actually play this game. But it has a really.
But what about all the Blue Moon lore? I need to know what's going on with the mimics.
and and the Terra and the dragons. I want the dragons.
Wait, that's a Pokemon.
That is correct. But Blue Moon City, it has like shared incentives, card play, tempo. Like I don't know, man. It's really really good. The core system of it is just like. I don't know. The more that I play it, the more that I dig into it, and especially like at the 2-player game, I think it's really, really good. BGG lies. BGG lies. Best 3 to 4.
Let's see what that really is. Oh,
not recommended. Oh, not recommended at 1.
it's recommended. It's recommended.
Yeah,
but...
it's very. Yeah, it's like it's really good, really unique, and. Yeah, it's made my wife call me bad words before. That's how you know. That's how you know it's good. Llama was actually the first game that made her call me an a-hole, and that was like, nice. I think I can keep playing games with you.
The start of something special. Yeah, I have an interesting history with this one because
6.5.
Yeah, let me
look
see.
away.
Look, and I gave it a shot. I tried it April 2021, got rid of it. I reacquired it and tried it January 2022, got rid of it again.
Yeah, were both of those the CMON version?
They were. So I actually more recently acquired the older. I think it's the Fantasy Flight edition, the one that people really like, because I think it was Robert was talking it up again or something, and I was like,
"It was me.
Oh, it was you. Okay.
It was me
right.
talking it up again." Robert would never.
He would never.
Look what I did to it. Look what
wow.
I did it because I'm like I'm gonna have this game forever, and then they announced the freaking Discworld edition. I was like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you were talking it up, and then Robert was interested, and I'm like, okay. Maybe I was wrong. It's been a few years. So I got the newer version, and while I was waiting for that to arrive, I did email Knizia Games, and I was like, hey, is there a chance this one's still available just in case we want to do a new version? And that was a few weeks before Discworld was announced. So not happening.
I mean,
I'm excited
like
to try it
making
again.
the commitment and cutting down this box manifested that new addition to the world. And
of course.
You're welcome. You're welcome to the world for the sacrifice that I made. Also, like, yeah, the Fantasy Flight edition is also just gorgeous. And they ruined... look what they did to my boy with like the CMON version. Just everything, every change that they made was a total downgrade.
The colors,
so disappointing.
The colors are rough. The lore.
I like this one a lot. As I mentioned earlier, I like race games where it's just like this person wins, game over, and the overlapping.
Yeah, this is the CMON edition here.
Like there's no like the here's the thing that I'm like, the biggest change that they made to the artwork is they took out all the little people in the buildings. And it just feels like this inert thing that you're creating rather than like rebuilding a thriving city where there's all these people.
Well, look at all those. Like, those are people, right? I don't even know.
No, they're not.
Like
those are just pillars of stone.
When I play, I take the big dragons from my Blue Moon Legends copy and then put it into Blue Moon City.
Yes, yes.
I do like the pastels.
All right.
Okay.
What do you got next for us?
Let's see. Callisto the game. We've got it in 8 tier. That's too low. Callisto's perfect.
Ooh.
Callisto is like one of the most lovely combinatorial and combative like abstracts. It takes everything that is interesting about Blockus and it just crushes it. It compresses it into a black hole of vitriol and hatred. Sorry, whenever I teach this game, everyone gangs up on me. So it always feels like I'm like sucking in everybody's hatred. I think that's where that like weird metaphor came from. But I love it so much. It is just so in your face immediately. It is fast. It is whip smart. It is just not a 7. Get out of here, Nick.
I've only played it twice. I need to play it more because I feel like it does have room to grow for me. So I'm actually willing to trust you. But go ahead,
No,
Jared.
I think A is too high. Like it's a solid game, but I would
It's
not
so good.
convince
It's so
going up
good.
further.
I
I think it's really neat. The walls closing in, and then the pressure release valve of those pillars. I do think it's a really neat, solid game, and yeah, just the tactile nature of it. But
Well, I'll cut my losses then and stop trying to push it higher and be content with it at A tier.
Yeah, before it gets worse, right?
Yeah, let's actually stop talking about it. Let's move on. Where do we have Palazzo? I think we have
Ooh,
Palazzo
here we
in,
go. Here we go.
B
I think
tier.
it's B tier. Yeah.
Palazzo's fallen for me.
Oh no. Not
Yeah.
Palazzo.
It's really cool. I love the production of it. I love how the end game tiles that come out make a little diorama, make a little picture of the prince coming to inspect your palaces. But it's just something that the more that I've played it and the more that I've had it, I look at it and I'm just like, I've played this enough. I've played it enough. I've gotten to the point where I just am finished with the game, and I wasn't expecting that, but still really cool system, still like solid, worth trying, but just did not have legs for me, and I ended up getting rid of it.
Oh, so sad. I think the bidding system here is so interesting. The decision of like which action do I take and kind of the timing of that, the pacing of it can be really interesting. That's sad to hear. I haven't played it in a while. I've actually been itching to play it again. So I'm willing to drop it down within the same tier, but I don't know if I'd let you drag it down a whole tier. What do you think, Jared?
it's interesting how it's a really solid game, yet also like his 10th or 15th best auction game. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I'd still happily play it if someone was like, "Let's play Palazzo." I'm like, "Sick."
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
But bottom of the barrel B.
Bottom of the barrel B. We'll take it.
Okay. I think I've got 2 more games. First, Ninja Master.
Ooh.
It's also something that has fallen off for me.
No.
It's just like I got one too many scrapes and jammed fingers, and I'm just like, this is not worth it for me anymore. It's another one that's just sort of played itself out for me, where I'm like, it's still really cool, but like the dice arena is a little too rickety. Like the pieces are like the sword like broke for me after like the second game.
Oh, yikes.
And it's just like it's very like it's a real time dice game where you're trying to grab things that will score points based on like what is it 9 dice, and depending on the results, things may be worth negative points, but once you grab something, you can't put it back. And it's funny. It's really cool. And I think if like the pieces were just like a little more, I think like solid, I don't know. It's just like, I played it out and then I ended up letting it go.
So sad. I will happily play this game anytime. I think the problem is that I need to find people who will happily play it with me, and that's the challenge of Ninja Master. Because it is a speed game. But yeah, to me, it's just hilarious that the fastest person can end up shooting themselves in the foot because they grab a negative point ninja. It's
really funny.
It's great.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can drop it to high C tier. I'll let it slide with a broken heart.
when my copy first arrived, we played it over one evening, and yeah, it never really hit, and then I haven't brought it back out in another group. So I would try it again, but not chomping at the bit. I do love Viking Seesaw though, so 1 out of
Viking
2.
Seesaw. So good.
Yep.
That game's hilarious.
Yep, we got that one in A tier, so
Yeah, baby.
it's a keeper.
Okay, my final game, and a game that I'm just like, I need to do right by this, is Heckmech Continent.
Ooh.
Heckmech the card game.
Yeah.
This is one, every time I play it, it's just like, oh, dang, this game's good. This
true.
game is really, really solid. The way that the auctions are set up, you're trying to like it's a game of chicken. Wait a second. Is that why? Is that why Heckmech is styled with chickens? No, I think Heckmech's styled with chickens because Zoc does chickens, and they're like, okay, slap it on there.
It doesn't make sense for the push your luck dice game, honestly, because you're just
But
rolling
for
dice
this
for
one,
worms.
it's a game of chicken auction, where you can only ever make a maximum of 6 bids in a round, because when you make a bid or like raise your bid to stay in the round, you have to do it with a different value of card, and there's 6 values of cards, and the tempo considerations, the hand building considerations of that are just so like juicy, like a big roasted worm portion, fresh off the grill. And the way that you are trying to stay in to slowly like work your hand for the next auction, and when you're pushing for big tiles or when you're content to like, just sort of build up your hand, it's just really, really good. And then like the wrinkle on top of all of that is you cannot get a worm portion, or like you don't get to like be in the running to win if you don't play like the worm card. And so managing those and knowing when to play those is just like it's so good. Oh, and then if you can like steal, I was playing this with my parents and my wife and my mother-in-law over Christmas, and there's a rule where if you go out when you have the same total value of cards played as the top domino in someone else's stack, you steal it. My mom stole a 40 from me, a 40 in the last round to close the game and destroy us, and it was incredible. I'd never seen that before, and it's just like every time I play this game, it's just like this is so solid, and it continues to surprise me, which is something that is surprising. Where I'm like, I thought I understood this game, I thought it was good, I thought it was like really solid, but then crap like that happens, and I'm like, what the heck? How did you get that many cards? It's rad. It's really, really cool.
So good. And I love that you can cover your stack with a 0. You can kind of just protect what's underneath, and there's some interesting strategy there. What do you think about it, Jared?
Yeah, so the original Heck Mech dice game was a real flop for me. I felt it was just such a drag. My expectations were low, but I was really, really impressed. So this has entered my lunchtime groups rotation at work because it scales well, right? It plays like 3 to 6 really well, and it's closer to almost like Taj Mahal, the card game, in some ways. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I agree. It's really solid. And then, as Nick was saying, with like defensive plays in a thing, trying to balance like the proper cards, but then you also need a worm, and then the values of the worms themselves. So yeah, it packs quite a punch.
Yeah, this is easily the best Heck Mech game. It sounds like we're wanting to bump this up at least to A tier, right?
Oh yeah, and it's something where I'm like, I think the more that I play it, I think it can just like keep bumping on up. But like right there, I'm happy with it. Right there.
Excellent. Wow.
And I think that's it. If you guys don't have any other games that you need to do right by, I am content, and I'm very pleased to have been able to chat with you in one continuous session. Remember, where we all went to the bathroom and changed our clothes and changed the time of day. But like Reiner Knizia, he's the gift that keeps on giving. But Nick, if you want to take us out, I think we're done.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a pleasure. It's been like we mentioned earlier, it's been maybe 16 months since we did this last, and it's interesting to see how things evolve. No new additions to the gold tier notably, but that is a very high bar to clear. Definitely some interesting new stuff we added to the S's, some swapping around, some new additions to the A tier. So he's had some good new releases in the past year-ish, and other hidden gems that we've quite enjoyed.
Oh, Nick, there's one more thing I need to do.
Okay, here we go.
The Millefiori expansion is terrible.
I was
Put
waiting
it
for
down.
this. I was waiting for
Banish
this.
it.
Hard
At
disagree.
least out of S tier. At least
Ooh.
out of S tier.
Oh wow, I've got a defender here. What's your take, Jared?
I love the expansion. I like Millefior a lot, and for me it improved it even further.
Mm.
Mm. I think it takes the focus away from the shared board into little grids of cards that you're making, and it's fine. And it takes like the focus from what you want to play a little bit to what you need to play to move up to the next rung on the ladder so that you get bonuses. It's something where it's just like every edition felt like a side grade that made the game more complex. And to be fair, it's not like a huge like extra lift. It's not a huge oh, hello, Gally. It's not like a huge ad, but I really just don't think it makes the game better. And I think it's, I think it made the game longer and slightly more complicated, and I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that.
I've heard people agree with you on this, and I can see where you're all coming from, and I agree this is the weakest part of the game. But despite that, like the interesting thing about this particular edition is that it disrupts the pace of the game. It can cause, because it doesn't let a player put out a tile, it can cause the game to last an extra round that you didn't expect. So there's some unexpected pacing that happens just from this portion of it. But like you said, I don't really care for the kind of the set collection, aligning things in a row and stuff. To me, the strongest part of this expansion is jockeying for the first player advantage, which I think is super fun when you draft these Doge cards.
It is fun. It's just unfortunate that it's like tied to everything else that the expansion brought in.
And then, yeah, it definitely will influence your incentives because you want to play whatever color your pawn is currently on to get an extra bonus. I do like these Dogressa cards too, though. They're just like these crazy powerful cards that you can acquire and choose to spend instead of what you drafted into your hand. And it just feels like a really spicy build up and explosive turn, I suppose. But I can see that it's more controversial. Even if Jared and I are still fans of it. So I'm willing to let it drop from the S tier, which is quite a lofty tier. So I'm okay to let it drop to the A tier personally. Cause
I know I'm hearing 2 versus 1, so I don't that math doesn't work out for me, but I'll be willing to take the high road.
I think it could have been
Be gracious.
Yeah, I think it's not a perfect expansion, but I enjoy playing with it. I usually play with it personally, so that is fair. All right, there we go.
I'll take my wins.
So,
all right, I'm going to close my eyes now as you keep scrolling.
Our updated Ultimate Reiner Knizia tier list. I think we're at nearly 250 games at this point. We're going to have to count again and just see what amount we've gotten to. Granted, some of these are just like reskins, but most of them are unique games. Reiner has quite a range. So thank you all for joining us. If you are a Knizia fan or if you're interested in exploring more of his catalog, might I recommend a shameless plug of the one and only Gold Country. This is Bitewing's Kickstarter
Look away
project.
if you're allergic to ads.
Yeah.
Escape while you still can.
This Kickstarter ends on February 26th, but you can still late pledge beyond that for usually a few weeks for us. But to me, this is a very interesting stock manipulation and speculation gold rush game that our team has had quite a blast creating and working with Reiner on. All the changes come from Reiner except the mini expansion, which we threw in as just a little spicy addition.
It's still good.
But it's a good time. So, yeah, check this out if you haven't heard of it. This is the best way to support us here at Bitewing Games and what we're doing. But regardless, we hope you found something in this list and this discussion that caught your attention, definitely come join us at the Reiner Knizia Enthusiast Discord server. We'll have a link to it in the description of this podcast episode. And surely we will gather once again. It may be 2 years next time, just because we've definitely been slowing down, right? But the list goes on, and as long as Reiner keeps making new games, I feel like we got to keep coming back to the mines. To
the work continues.
The work continues. It never ends with Reiner. So, any last parting words from you, gentlemen?
I've taken more than my fair share of parting words.
Yeah, the best place to tell us how much you disagree with us is on the Reiner Knizia Discord server. Yeah. It's a really great place. We're really proud of the community. Like, it's based around Knizia games, but there's a space for all kinds of discussion, and I really like how it's developed. And we're closing in on a membership milestone, so I encourage you to join us, and if you push over to that, we might come up with a little something special to celebrate. So hope to see you all there.
A little something special, you say?
All right, I don't endorse this. I would like to distance myself from the actions of my co-host here.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.